860. Pirates on internet, 861. 6:40 p.m. Detroit Tigers take on the Minnesota Twins. Tigers on Sirius 208, XM 175, and internet 849. Twins on internet, 856. 6:50 p.m. Tampa Bay Rays take on the San Francisco Giants. Rays on Sirius 210, XM 177, and internet 866. Giants on internet, 863. 7:05 p.m. Baltimore Orioles take on the Milwaukee Brewers. Orioles on Sirius 211, XM 178, and internet 842. Brewers on internet 855. 7:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Colorado Rockies. Blue Jays on Sirius 106, XM 179, and internet 868. Rockies on internet 848. 7:10 p.m. Boston Red Sox take on the LA Angels. Red Sox on Sirius 119, XM 180, and internet 843. Angels on internet 852. 7:10 p.m. Miami Marlins take on the Atlanta Braves. Marlins on Sirius 121, XM 182, and internet 854. Braves on internet 841. 7:10 p.m. New York Mets take on the Kansas City Royals. Mets on Sirius 98, XM 183, and internet 857. Royals on internet 851. 7:10 p.m. Cleveland Guardians take on the New York Yankees. Guardians on Sirius 85, XM 181, and internet 847. Yankees on internet 858. 7:40 p.m. Chicago White Sox take on the Cincinnati Reds. White Sox on Sirius 99, XM 184, and internet 845. Reds on internet 846. 8:10 p.m. Houston Astros take on the Texas Rangers. Astros on Sirius and XM channels 89, internet 850. Rangers on internet 867. Spanish feed on internet 870. 9:40 p.m. Seattle Mariners take on the Chicago Cubs. Mariners on Sirius 156, XM 185, and internet 864. Cubs on internet 844. 9:40 p.m. Arizona Diamondbacks take on the St. Louis Cardinals. Diamondbacks on Sirius 132, XM 186, and internet 840. Cardinals on internet 865. 9:40 p.m. Oakland A's take on the Washington Nationals. A's on Sirius 146, XM 187, and internet 859. Nationals on internet 869. 10:10 p.m. LA Dodgers take on the San Diego Padres. Dodgers on Sirius 209, XM 176, and internet 853. Padres on internet 862. Spanish feed on Sirius 208, XM 175, and internet 871. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Friday, April the 12th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 6:40 p.m. Philadelphia Phillies take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Phillies on Sirius 209, XM 176, and internet 860. Pirates on internet 861. 6:40 p.m. Detroit Tigers take on the Minnesota Twins. Tigers on Sirius 208, XM 175, and internet 849. Twins on internet 856. 6:50 p.m. Tampa Bay Rays take on the San Francisco Giants. Rays on Sirius 210, XM 177, and internet 866. Giants on internet 863. 7:05 p.m. Baltimore Orioles take on the Milwaukee Brewers. Orioles on Sirius 211, XM 178, and internet 842. Brewers on internet 855. 7:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Colorado Rockies. Blue Jays on Sirius 106, XM 179, and internet 868. Rockies on internet 848. 7:10 p.m. Boston Red Sox take on the LA Angels. Red Sox on Sirius 119, XM 180, and internet 843. Angels on internet 852. 7:10 p.m. Miami Marlins take on the Atlanta Braves. Marlins on Sirius 121, XM 182, and internet 854. Braves on internet 841. 7:10 p.m. New York Mets take on the Kansas City Royals. Mets on Sirius 98, XM 183, and internet 857. Royals on internet 851. 7:10 p.m. Cleveland Guardians take on the New York Yankees. Guardians on Sirius 85, XM 181, and internet 847. Yankees on internet 858.
The PGA Tour comes to life on SiriusXM. It's your destination for everything on the tour. Hear live hole-by-hole coverage and expert analysis. PGA Tour Radio, SiriusXM 92.
The Kansas City Royals are off to a hot start to the season. Their aggressive approach has proven to be their biggest strength, and Xavier Scruggs from the leadoff spot on SiriusXM MLB Network Radio is impressed with what he sees from the team.
If you watch their games, you're seeing a different type of mentality from the beginning of the game. And obviously, yesterday was an anomaly. They 9 runs, sent up so many batters in that first inning. But the one thing that you'll notice is guys are in the middle of the field as far as their approach. How many balls went right back through the middle, hard hit balls? That's the type of approach that you're looking at from an offense. And when I say aggressiveness, they're sending guys from third every time they're around at second base. And that's obviously what speed and athleticism does for you. They have some of that. But there was a situation where Nelson Velasquez hit a ball to right field in that first inning. The runner on third obviously scores. Kyle Tucker gets the ball. He throws it home. Nelson Velasquez, who's a big dude, he sees the throw and he's already taken off to second, so advances to second. You got runners on second and third in that first inning. So when you talk about a team that's an aggressor, they're not afraid to take chances. They're not afraid of risk. That's what you're seeing with the Royals right now, and a really good approach. Not to mention Brady Singer has been really nice. Like, I understand you got 9 runs in the first, but Brady Singer, we need to keep our eye on him because his stuff looks disgusting right now, 0.98 ERA.
SiriusXM has soccer covered end to end. SiriusXM FC. Hear live play-by-play and talk shows hosted by legends of the game. It's SiriusXM FC on Channel 157.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Friday, April the 12th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 6:40 p.m., Philadelphia Phillies take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Phillies on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 860. Pirates on Internet 861. 6:40 p.m., Detroit Tigers take on the Minnesota Twins. Tigers on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 849. Twins on Internet 856. 6:50 p.m., Tampa Bay Rays take on the San Francisco Giants. Rays on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 866. Giants on Internet 863. 7:05 p.m., Baltimore Orioles take on the Milwaukee Brewers. Orioles on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 842. Brewers on Internet 855. 7:07 p.m., Toronto Blue Jays take on the Colorado Rockies. Blue Jays on Sirius 106, XM 179, and Internet 868. Rockies on Internet 848. 7:10 p.m., Boston Red Sox take on
Major League Baseball play-by-play is now on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app. Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game.
It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet.
Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
It is bedlam in the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather.
A swing and a drive to deep left center.
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made the play. Oh, my.
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall.
Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd.
That ball's high.
Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds.
In a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it.
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
I don't believe what I just saw.
And the way the right voice can make a moment live forever.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Outsiders may think this is just two teams.
The ball, a bat, and a microphone. But no.
For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
He struck it out looking. It's over. It's over. The Rangers have won the World Series.
The soundtrack of summer. This is Major League Baseball on the radio.
Right now on SiriusXM.
All rise.
Coming in 5.
Get ready to play. 4.
Get up. Get up.
3.
Can you believe it?
Put your seatbelt on.
Wow. My goodness.
Major League Baseball play-by-play is now on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
It's a home run for Ronald Acuna.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to daily fantasy basketball to getting you ready for the NFL Draft, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
How you manage your team day in and day out will be the difference in where you finish in 2024.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
2:30 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 400 from Texas Motor Speedway on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah.
Fans, I'm Craig Ballard, host of your daily Locked On Blue Jays podcast. Locked On Blue Jays is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On Blue Jays brings you the latest Blue Jays news and analysis and breaks down all of the action. Locked On Blue Jays is everything a Blue Jays fan could want, all in a 30-minute daily podcast. Download Locked On Blue Jays right now on the SXM app, available with all trials and popular plans or wherever you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Blue Jays.
There is no competition in soccer quite like the UEFA Champions League. And it's on SiriusXM FC.
Kylian Mbappe delivering when it matters most.
The stakes are higher now in the knockout stage, where one goal can transform a club's trajectory.
Jude Bellingham's driving, scores!
And one performance can turn a star into an immortal.
Erling Haaland has 5!
It's the Champions League knockout stage, and all the top matches are on SiriusXM FC 157 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Busted Open podcast is now available on YouTube. This is Dave LaGreca, host of Busted Open, the #1 pro wrestling show on the planet. You can now watch and listen to the award-winning Busted Open podcast every single day on YouTube. Our best interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and some of our best content from the past. All available right now when you go to youtube.com/@BustedOpenPodcast. Subscribe right now.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Slams the ball to right field. Way back. Way gone.
Is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second. The throw. In time.
On the Sportsnet Radio Network.
A Friday night series opener under the lights. The Blue Jays opened Rogers Center this week with a series win over the Mariners and had a day off as a reward. Now Toronto welcomes in the Colorado Rockies as it looks for the first interleague series win of the year. Hi, everyone. Hope you're having a good start to the weekend. I'm Ben Schulman alongside the former Major League reliever Chris LaRue. Show Ali is our host and producer today with Tom Young and Andrew Adams as our technical directors. Toronto Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Metcalfe and Winchester, Ontario. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. Kevin Gausman gets the ball for the Blue Jays today, attempting to rebound from a 6-run start in New York that lasted fewer than 2 innings. Opposing him, Rockies righty Ryan Feltner is coming off a career performance with 10 strikeouts in his last start. Toronto and Colorado get going next. You're listening to Blue Jays baseball streaming on the Sportsnet app, sportsnet.ca, and across the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Think 2 minute truck, 2 minute truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2 minute truck, 2 minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2minutetruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's building center. Visit timbermart.ca.
The 2024 NFL Draft is fast approaching, and SiriusXM NFL Radio is getting you ready with our series of draft previews.
Marvin Harrison's 3rd TD catch of the game.
Get expert insight and analysis from our staff of former players, coaches, and executives.
He may be the best receiver prospect I've seen for the last 5 years.
SiriusXM NFL Radio's 2024 NFL Draft Preview, Offensive Players Edition. Get it anytime on the all-new SiriusXM app.
After the game, join us on MLB Network Radio. We're talking baseball with you all season long.
on SiriusXM Channel 89 and the SiriusXM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
For the first time since 2011, the Colorado Rockies are in town here at Rogers Center for an interleague series. Appreciate you tuning in on this Friday night. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left is Chris LaRue. Kevin Gausman, the Blue Jays ace, takes the bump for Toronto, coming off one of the tougher starts he's had in years, a start in which he really didn't have his velocity. Fastball was a lot of the time in the high 80s or very low 90s, with his splitter in the mid to low 80s as well. Gausman looks to rebound today against a Rockies team that's been reeling so far this year. I mean, it seems quite obvious with the velocity, but in general, Chris, what are you looking for out of Gausman today?
Well, I think the biggest thing is obviously the velocity, but after that, I think just throwing strikes, just really going after these guys, because this Colorado Rockies team isn't that strong, right? We know they're 3-10. We know that they've been struggling, but their offense isn't that bad. You look at their offense and you think they're pretty decent. They have Chris Bryant, who obviously has been struggling over the last couple of years, but they actually have other guys that are pretty good. They have Elias Diaz, who's hitting .324. They have Ryan McMahon, who's hitting .383, and they have Ezekiel Tovar, who's hitting .333. Right?
They have some guys.
They have some guys. So Kevin Gausman can't just go out there and think, this is a 3-10 Colorado Rockies team that we can just roll over. He has to go out there. He has to make pitches. He has to make pitches down in the zone, and he has to use his split finger after using that good, hard 95-mile-an-hour fastball to get ahead.
Gausman and the Blue Jays about to take the field. Let's take a look at the Bet365 standings watch. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19+, play responsibly. Ontario only. The Yankees open up today, leading the AL East at 10-3, a game and a half behind them. It's Baltimore at 8-4. The Tampa Bay Rays and the Boston Red Sox are both 7-6, 3 games back, with the Blue Jays 6-7, 4 games behind. Blue Jays taking the field right now. Rockies to hit first. Chris, who's in the lineup first for Bud Black's team?
Well, here's your starting lineup for the Colorado Rockies. Leading off and playing shortstop is Ezekiel Tovar. Ryan McMahon bats second. He'll be at third base. Batting third and DHing is the former Cub, Chris Bryant. Catching and cleaning up is Elias Diaz. Nolan Jones is in left field. He'll bat fifth. Elauris Montero bats sixth. He'll play first base. Brendan Rodgers, the Rockies' third overall pick in 2015, will play second base and bat seventh. Batting eighth and playing right field is Michael Tolia. Batting ninth and playing center field is Brenton Doyle. On the mound is Ryan Feltner. And for the Jays, leading off and playing right field is George Springer. At first base, batting second is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Playing shortstop is Bo Bichette. He'll bat third. Justin Turner is cleaning up and DHing. Kevin Biggio, he'll play second base and bat fifth. Behind the plate is Alejandro Kirk. He'll bat sixth. Dalton Varsho is in left field. He'll bat seventh. And at third base, batting eighth, is Isaiah Connor-Falefa. Batting ninth in center field is Kevin Kiermaier. And on the mound for the Blue Jays is Kevin Gausman.
The tall right-hander taking his warm-up pitches right now, a first-round pick of the Orioles out of Louisiana State University. And if you haven't been following along, a shortened spring for Kevin Gausman. Only made one start in the spring. Looked really good in it. Came out in his first start this season at Tampa Bay and threw 4 1/3 innings of 1-run ball. Looked really good again. But in his last start, they say due to the weather, his fastball and general velocity was down. His feel for his pitches did just not look the same as it usually does for this former Cy Young finalist. And Gausman ended up giving up 6 and an inning and a third. That has his ERA at 9.53 through 2 starts. 6'2" right-hander stretches out his arms and steps onto the rubber. First time the Rockies have been at Rogers Center since 2013. Ezekiel Tovar leads off. Gausman kicks, fires home, and the first pitch is foul tipped into the glove. Strike one. Time of the first pitch, 7:08, and it's indoor today. Rainy conditions in Toronto. And just that first pitch at 94 rather than the high 80s we saw against New York is a good sign for Gausman, who releases the 0-1, and it's hit high to left field. On the run, Varsho going back to the track, makes the catch. There's the first out. This first inning is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. 1 out, bases empty. Left-handed hitting Ryan McMahon up the pitch. Fastball low, ball 1. Good start to the year for McMahon, batting .383, 18 for 47 in 13 games. 1-0. A little bit low again. 2 balls, no strikes. He's been a mainstay for Colorado. McMahon in the last 4 full seasons, so skipping 2020, has hit at least 20 homers. 2-0. Fastball at the knees, strike 1. Infield a little bit to the pull side. Bichette slightly up the middle. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. Completely fooled on that splitter, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you're 93-94 like Kevin Gausman is right now. That splitter is that much better. He was 89-90 in his last start against New York, and the splitter was ineffective.
Gausman looking for his first strikeout of the start. Unleashes a 2-2. Check swing. Trying to get him to go after another splitter. McMahon laid off. Full count. It's fastball, splitter, slider for Kevin Gausman, sometimes described as a sweeper. Full count pitch. Hit in the air to center. That's backing up Kiermaier, who sprints back, now turns to face the infield, and makes the catch in front of the track. 2 deep fly balls, but 2 outs for Kevin Gausman.
Well, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the action on his split finger, the action on his fastball down in the zone. Everything looks A-OK to me right now.
That's what the Blue Jays need to see. This guy is certainly their ace. Coming off a Cy Young finalist season. Cy Young votes in each of the last 3 seasons and a 2-time All-Star. Gausman adjusts the back of his cap and delivers to Chris Bryant. That was the breaking ball, it seems, for strike 1. 2016 National League MVP Chris Bryant, 4 for 40 to start the year, the 0-1. Another breaking ball, down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, Chris Bryant's certainly not the guy that he used to be when he was in Chicago, that's for sure.
Won Rookie of the Year and then MVP in back-to-back seasons. Came up in 2015 and was the MVP in 2016. The 1-1. Swing and a miss over top of the splitter. 1-2.
Really good right on right splitty right there. Something I'm sure Chris Bryant doesn't see that often, but Kevin Gausman is clearly feeling good right now.
Bryant's going to ask for time. Manny Gonzalez, home plate umpire, goes to the side of the plate. It's Nestor Ceja at first, crew chief Todd Tishner at second, Corey Blazer umpires third. 2 outs, bases empty. No score, top of the first. Here's Gausman's 1-2 to Bryant. Bounce the splitter, ball 2. Chris Bryant really good throughout his Cubs tenure, really. I mean, a couple ups and downs, but nothing major. Signed a 7-year, $182 million deal a couple years back with Colorado. 2-2, swing and a miss. Dialed up the fastball to 95, put it by Bryant for a 1-2-3, top of the first. Blue Jays to bat in a scoreless game. When we come back, bottom 1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays, and with all kinds of cool new games and activities in the exciting outfield district areas, there's no end to the family fun you'll have.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
We're 2 men and a truck. And we've got lots of men and lots of trucks.
Whether you're planning a move to a new home or to a new office down the hall, big or small, we move them all. We even sell packing and moving supplies. But no matter what you need, we'll do it with a smile. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. So when you're planning your next move, call 2 Men and a Truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca. This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Pitch to Kevin Biggio is rocked to right field. That ball is gone.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. No score, bottom of the first inning, Blue Jays and Rockies. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. George Springer leads off against right-hander Ryan Feltner, who delivers the pitch. Springer takes strike one. Third start of the season for Feltner, a 3.27 ERA, an 0-1 record in the previous 2 starts. His 0-1. Springer swings and misses, strike 2. Interesting mix you get from Feltner. Starter who leads with his slider, actually. We'll throw that more than anything else, but does feature the four-seamer too. 0-2. High ball 1. And then it's change up, a little bit of sinker and a little bit of curveball in there, but mostly slider, four-seamer change.
The fact that he throws his slider more than his 97-mile-an-hour fastball is surprising.
The 1-2. Check swing, pitch down and away. He went around, says home plate umpire Manny Gonzalez. Springer down for the first out. Well, pretty impressive, to be honest, and a great thing that Feltner is pitching this year. Last year, he was struck in the head on May 13th by a 93-mile-per-hour line drive off the bat of Nick Castellanos. Fractured skull and concussion because of it. His first pitch to Guerrero inside 1-0. I mean, that's a potentially life-threatening event, but he came back on September 19th and has been solid for the Rockies in 2 starts this year. The 1-0. High, 2-0.
I can only imagine how he felt his first time, maybe his first 2 or 3 times back on the mound. I'm sure tentative, I'm sure nervous to even be that close to Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
2-0 to Vladdy. Fouled back, 2-1. Yeah, Feltner was at the Fan Fest for the Rockies ahead of the season and said, quote, it's something that he actually enjoys talking about at this point. Loves having fans come up, engage with him. The 2-1. Guerrero bends his knee and takes strike 2 on a breaking ball. Feltner on the first base side of the rubber, into the wind. 2-2 pitch. Guerrero takes down and away, full count.
I couldn't imagine.
No, I don't know how you stand 60 feet 6 inches away from a guy again.
He's got great stuff, though.
He does. Struck out Springer. 3-2 count with 1 out and the base is empty. His pitch to Guerrero. He's hit well to center field, but not deep enough. Brenton Doyle will start in at the last second, make the catch. 2 outs.
And that fastball was actually right down the middle, but it just had a little bit of run to it at 97 miles an hour. Jams Vlad just a touch. If he was able to get his hands extended, that ball's 450.
Yeah, that four-seam fastball is thrown with the four-seam grip, but has a little bit of two-seam sinker kind of movement to it. Here's Bo Bichette with 2 outs, base is empty. The pitch. Foul tipped into the glove. Strike 1.
Yeah, he is throwing that slider a lot.
Throwing it down and away a ton. Will face 4 right-handed hitters. Have already faced 2 to start his appearance. 0-1 from Feltner. Inside. Ball 1. On his 2 starts, he pitched okay on the road at Arizona. 1-1. Check swing. He went around. Strike 2. 5 runs, only 3 of them earned in 5 innings. But then he went 6 of 1-run ball at home against the Rays. 10 strikeouts. 1-2. Bichette takes, it's down and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You'd think it would be the other way around. Dealing on the road, and then you come back to Coors and you get hit around.
He was the first guy to throw 10 strikeouts at Coors Field for the Rockies. Or pardon me, the 3rd of all time. 2-2. Ground ball up the middle, past the second baseman Rogers, into center field, a base hit. 2-out knock for Bo Bichette. Here comes Justin Turner. So Feltner was the 3rd pitcher in franchise history to go 6 innings, allow 2 or fewer hits, and have 10-plus strikeouts at Coors Field. Only German Marquez in 2019, and Ubaldo Jimenez, probably, if not the best, Rockies pitcher in their franchise in 2007. Feltner said in that game that attacking the zone with his fastballs was the big key. Bo Bichette takes off on the first pitch to Justin Turner. It runs inside, no throw down to second. Bichette swipes the bag without a throw. They just caught the Rockies sleeping there. And now a runner in scoring position.
Bo Bichette took about a step and a half, maybe 2 steps, even before Feltner lifted his leg.
Yeah, he was just off, and Feltner didn't step off. Here's the pitch to Turner. Outside, ball 2.
And now we have the line drive machine with a runner in scoring position.
Turner hitting .342 to start the year. 5 RBIs. Bichette on second, 2 outs. 2-0 pitch. Outside 3-0, and it almost looks like they don't even want to deal with him now with the base open.
Yeah, I think if there's one guy in this lineup that you don't want to deal with the base open, it's probably Justin Turner. I tend to say Vlad too, but right now it's probably Justin Turner.
Turner's got the best numbers on the team so far. Small sample, 3-0. Outside ball 4. They didn't really give him anything. Turner with a walk. Here comes Cavan Biggio, who does have a .294 average himself, has started off the year very strong, has Biggio. 2 RBIs, or pardon me, 2 doubles, 1 homer, 4 RBIs for Biggio, 10 for 34 to begin the season.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Cavan Biggio puts together a really good at-bat here. He loves situations like this, loves coming up with big hits. Runner on second, 2 outs.
First and second for the Blue Jays. Turner just dropped his sliding mitt, picks it up as the first pitch goes into Biggio. It's called strike 1. Turner's at first after the walk. Bichette at second after a single and a stolen base. Infield plays way back. The shortstop Tovar, though, creeping behind Bichette, holding him on. The pitch. Biggio with a liner up the middle. That's into right center, a base hit. Bichette gets the wave. He'll score. First to third is Turner. It's an RBI single for Cavan Biggio. 1-0 Blue Jays, bottom of the first.
And that's what he does. He doesn't try to do too much. When there's big situations like that, Cavan Biggio tries to use the big part of the field, and he does that right there. He just goes right back up the middle on that slider that was middle. What a good approach from a good hitter.
0-1 breaking ball, spun a little bit too much on Feltner, and Biggio just bounced it, like you said, to that widest hole that there was in the infield. So Biggio now with 5 RBIs on the year. His average jumps over 300. Here comes Alejandro Kirk. First and third, 2 outs. Big hole on the right side. Biggio held on at first. The pitch. Called strike 1. This was really a quiet inning to start for the Blue Jays. A strikeout of Springer, a fly ball by Guerrero. There were 2 outs and nobody on, but Bichette with a single, Turner with a walk, Biggio with a single. 0-1. Kirk fouls it off, 0-2. Now with 2 outs and runners on the corners, it's 1-0 Blue Jays, bottom of 1.
Yeah, Feltner probably will throw that slider here. Alejandro, all he has to do is get that barrel out and bounce it through that huge hole on the right side.
Second baseman Rogers a couple steps from the second base bag. The 0-2. Check swing on a breaking ball high and inside. 1-2.
Well, they definitely tried to throw that slider down and away, but that was about as spinning of a slider as it gets. It almost hit Kirk.
A couple of those sliders so far have hung up. Maybe something to attack today for the Blue Jays. Turning to throw to first, Biggio dives back. Since coming home, the Blue Jays have attempted a fair share of stolen bases. Already one stolen in this game. Bo Bichette stole right after his single. It's Turner on third, Biggio on first, held on by Montero. Time asked for at the plate. Feltner was about to get started, so he'll throw through. But Kirk is standing just on the edge of the dirt circle. Pitch does not count.
Yeah, Feltner was obviously upset right there, throwing a 94-mile-an-hour fastball after everybody had gotten out of the way. That's just, you don't see that every day.
No. Now the 1-2. High, 2-2. Kirk has struggled off the starting block so far, a 146 average, although he is tied for the team lead in RBIs with 7, tied with Davis Schneider. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Tied up by the high heat. He goes down for the second Feltner strikeout, but the Blue Jays open the scoring. Bo Bichette gets on. Kevin Biggio knocks him in. 1 run on 2 hits, 2 left on. 1-0 Toronto at the end of 1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hear the Masters exclusively on SiriusXM. Hi, this is Mike Tirico, and there's nothing like the Masters.
Rory McIlroy, he's thinking grand slam.
The beauty of the azaleas, the passion of the patrons, and the best golfers in the world vying for a green jacket.
It turned right into the cup for John Rahm.
It all makes for one of the most iconic weekends in sports. Live coverage of the Masters continues tomorrow at 2 Eastern on Masters Radio, Channel 92 in the car, and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are on top of the women's college basketball world yet again.
Perfection for South Carolina. 38 games, 38 wins.
We're reacting to the perfect season and talking to the biggest names right here on Channel 374.
Congratulations, Coach Saley. What does this particular title mean to you?
This title is pretty special because it was unexpected.
Keep it locked into SiriusXM SEC Radio as we continue to break it all down and celebrate the Gamecocks' 3rd national title.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody! This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
Steve, you were so right about that.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The leadoff spot, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's Holy Grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to SiriusXM FC 157
Network.
The second inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet live in-game on game props, totals, and the money line. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. Elias Diaz leads off for the Rockies and takes strike 1 from Kevin Gausman. 1-0 Blue Jays, top of the second inning. Gausman kicks and fires. Ground ball hit to the right side, past Biggio, and into right field, a base hit. Blue Jays were shifting Diaz to the pull side. He hit it the other way, through the hole, and it's the first Rockies base runner today. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left, Chris LaRue. Game 1 of Blue Jays and Rockies at Rogers Center. With Diaz aboard, here comes Nolan Jones, one of the most electrifying rookies in the National League last year. Bats from the left side. One of the few Rockies, too, to have played here before. First pitch, hit foul, 0-1. That's because not last year, but 2 years ago, Jones had a brief stint with Cleveland, and the Guardians were in town here, so he got to play here. Only he and on the bench today, Jake Cave for the Rockies have played at Rogers Center. 0-1. Swing and a miss by the left-handed hitter, 0-2. Nobody out, runner on first, 1-0 Blue Jays, top of the second. The 2-strike pitch. Inside.
I really like that pitch right there. 0-2, you'd normally see a pitcher either bury a slider or bury a split. I love that they tried to get inside there with a fastball. 96, too, his hardest fastball of the day.
Gausman's going to ask for a new baseball here. Jones asked for time at the plate, so Gausman will get a new ball. The clock is off right now. And now he'll step back on the rubber after throwing both his arms up into the air. Elias Diaz, not a stolen base threat. The catcher leads off at first. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. After going inside, went back outside with the splitter. Second strikeout of the day for Gausman. 1 down.
And that's what happens when you go inside. You open up the other part of the plate. So many pitchers are afraid to go inside. We talked about that when Bowden was throwing the other day. If you're afraid to go inside, hitters can basically just look outside the whole at bat, and that gives them a much better chance of getting a base hit. Gausman with an incredible pitch selection there.
His first pitch to Elaris Montero, fastball on the inside edge at 95, called strike 1. If you're wondering about his velocity too, it's been right there as we expected so far through 20 pitches. 1 out, runner on first. Right on right offering. Montero swings and misses. That was the splitter again, 0-2.
Yeah, Montero was nowhere near that split finger. If I'm Gausman, I'm going right back to that pitch.
Montero, the first baseman today.
Bury that thing behind the plate. He'll swing right through it.
0-2. Bounced it. Montero this time lays off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Right-handed hitters in his 3rd year. Came up, played a lot of third base for the Rockies in 2022 after Chris Bryant hit the injured list. Has been more of a first baseman the last couple years. Fielding numbers much better at first than third. 1-2 pitch. Hit on the ground through the gaping hole on the right side and into right field. Nobody there with Biggio near the second base bag and Vlad at first. So that's another base hit the opposite way. Diaz up to second. 2 on here on 2 rolling singles with 1 out.
That was a really good piece of hitting from Montero. That was a good fastball down and away. And Montero just takes it into that big hole on the right side of the infield.
So that will give an opportunity here to Brendan Rodgers. Supposed to be one of the main guys for this team, but has had a tough start to the season. First and second, 1 out. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Rodgers 8 for his first 46, a 174 average. 3 doubles, no RBIs. Gausman looking back at the runner at second, fires home, and it's a line shot to right field. Springer on the run, it's past him and bouncing up against the wall. Diaz scores easily, getting the stop sign at third. Montero. Rodgers with his first RBI of the year, a double to tie it up. 1-1, second and third, 1 out for the Rockies.
Yeah, Gausman was supposed to throw that fastball down and away, leaves it up just a little bit over the plate, and Brendan Rodgers drills that thing into the gap in right field.
So the Rockies responding right away after the Blue Jays took the lead in the bottom of the first. They've tied it up. It's still some trouble here for Gausman. Michael Tolia to the plate right now. Corners in for the Blue Jays. Bo Bichette standing behind Rodgers. Those two teammates on youth teams in Winter Park, Florida. First pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 1.
And that's the thing about this Colorado Rockies team. Their offense is okay. It's the pitching that is not great, and that's why they're 3-10. So you really have to make good pitches against this lineup.
Second and third, 1 down. The 0-1. Tolia swings and misses. 0-2.
Throw that thing again. Bury it.
It's been an all-or-nothing year for Tolia, so he will swing and miss. 4 for 25 so far this year, a 160 average, but 3 of his 4 hits are homers. Switch hitter bats from the left side, where he's hit 1 of those 3 homers this year. The 0-2. Bounced the splitter. Kirk got his glove in front of it. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's a good pitch right there. A guy that's all or nothing, you don't want to give him anything in the zone, especially with 2 strikes. I'd probably throw that exact same pitch again, or a fastball up out of the zone.
Tolia taps the plate and puts the bat over his left shoulder. Second and third, 1 down. The 1-2. Missed downstairs with the splitter again. Couldn't get Tolia to chase. The gray batting gloves for Tolia match the gray road jersey of the Rockies. 2-2. Ground ball chopped to first. Vladdy picks it up. They have the runner hung up between third and home. Guerrero sprinting toward Montero, who went halfway. Throw to Kiner Falefa. Montero tagged out. Went on contact and then just stopped. Didn't commit either way. The runners will end up on second and third as Rogers moved up 90 feet. And Tolia, seeing the rundown starting, went all the way to second. But a nice composed play by Guerrero on Montero's base running gap.
That was an incredibly smart play. Number one, not throwing the ball to Alejandro Kirk and running after Montero, running him all the way back to the bag. I don't know why he threw it to Kiner Falefa. Rogers was standing on base. That's dangerous to do that. You could have hit Montero in the shoulder or something like that, but good play all around.
The pitch to Brenton Doyle, down and away, ball one. After the fielder's choice, Tolia on second, Rogers on third, 1-1 game, 2 outs. Infield can back up now as the plays to first. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. Doyle in his sophomore season, it started strong. 13 for 46, 283 average. 4 doubles, 2 homers, 5 RBIs for the Rockies center fielder. Right on right pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gausman looking to limit the damage and end this top of the second with the score 1-1. Doyle had asked for time, gets back in the box, taps the plate twice. Gausman adjusting the back of his cap, tucks the ball in his glove, bouncing on the front left foot. He stops, kicks, delivers, and missed low. 2-2.
And there's that open base at first base, so you don't want to throw him anything too good here, especially with 2 strikes, open base. We're not pitching around him here, but nothing too good.
Ezequiel Tovar is on deck for Colorado. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Got him to chase that splitter. Second strikeout of the inning for Gausman, but the Rockies tie it up. 1 run on 3 hits. It's an RBI double for Brendan Rodgers, and it's a 1-1 game, middle of 2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikey's accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
When you have an iconic look like Danny Jansen, picking new glasses can be tough.
Too big, too small, too cool, too much, too 90s, too futuristic. I think I'm just going to stick with the originals. These are working just fine.
He is really seeing the ball well.
Your friends will do a double take when they see you in your Danny Jansen new blue replica jersey and glasses.
And he's got some style.
On Monday, April 29th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a Jano bundle. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Springer charges the ball to left field. It's in the seats, and the Blue Jays are on the board.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the second inning at Rogers Center. 1-1 game, Blue Jays and Rockies. 7-8-9 for Toronto due up in the back half of the second. Dalton Varsho, Isaiah Kiner Falefa, and Kevin Kiermaier. Left, right, left. The pitch from Ryan Feltner, the righty, is hit by Varsho to right field. Very high, very deep. Tolia at the wall. Gone! first long ball of the season, Dalton Varsho, 2-1 Blue Jays.
I love that Varsho jumped him right there. That ball was right down the middle. Varsho didn't waste any time, gets right on it, ambushes Feltner. What a nice swing from Dalton Varsho.
A skyscraping 370-foot blast for Dalton Varsho. And the Blue Jays take the lead right back. The pitch to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is outside ball one. I'm Ben Shulman alongside Chris LaRue. 2-1 Blue Jays now. They scored in the bottom of the first. The Rockies in the top of the second. Now Toronto in the bottom of the second. 1-0, and Kiner-Falefa hits a fly ball down the right field line. Tolia running toward foul territory. Watches it drop into the first row of seats. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That has to feel good for Dalton Varsho.
Hit 20 homers last year. Didn't have a home run or an RBI so far this year until now. And the Blue Jays offense getting started early too. Runs in each of the first 2 innings. 1-1 to IKF. Fastball low. 2-1.
Ernie Clement rubbing Dalton Varsho's shoulders in the dugout. Everybody's happy for him.
I think Davis Schneider jumped in too. 2-1 pitch. Hit foul. 2-2. IKF twirls the bat. Infield playing all the way back. Nobody out, nobody on. 2-2 pitch. Chopped on 2 bounces to third. Backhanded by McMahon. Throw to first in time. 1 out. Proceeds from the amazing April 50-50 will help Jays Care give kids a place on a team. The take-home prize is over $1 million and rising fast. Get your tickets at bluejays.com/5050 from anywhere in Ontario or Nova Scotia.
Ben, do you know if we're allowed to get tickets for that?
I think we are. Kevin Kiermaier up. The first pitch. Fouled back. 0-1. 1 out, bases empty. 2-1. Blue Jays over Rockies.
How do you think people would react if they heard Ben Shulman won $1 million?
I don't think they'd be happy. 0-1. Bounce 1-1. Well, what'd you do with $1 million?
I wouldn't tell anybody I won, that's for sure.
I think I'm getting something near the lakes. Go up north somewhere. 1-1. High and outside, 2-1.
You need about 3 or 4 more wins for that to happen.
Well, then I'll invest it for a little bit. Or I'll go splits. The 2-1. Hit foul just off to our left. And into the 400 level boxes. 2-2. $1 million though. And it's April 12th. Early bird prizes being given out too. 2-2 to Kiermaier. Outside ball 3. He's worked a full count. George Springer's on deck with 1 out in this 2-1 game in favor of the Blue Jays.
Do you remember what the jackpots used to be when there wasn't any online?
Well, and it used to be single game.
So it used to be what, like
$50K?
$50K?
You could have a big weekend. 3-2 pitch, popped up behind the plate. Diaz loses his mask and will just kind of fake it. Looked like he was about to make the catch, but it bounced right in the front row behind the backstop. Still a full count. I mean, I'm sure there were days where it was less than $50K.
$50K seems high. I don't know. I can't remember, but I don't know.
It's been like this for a while where they've combined it. Three-two pitch. Line drive left field. Fair ball. Rolling toward the corner. Jones cutting it off. Kiermaier wants second base. He's got it. First extra base hit of the season for Kevin Kiermaier. A one-out double. Here comes George Springer.
That was a really, really nice piece of hitting. That has to feel good for Kevin Kiermaier as he spreads his arms at second base and kind of looks up to the sky, almost like finally. That was a great piece of hitting.
Shot it to the left side and immediately got into the sprint. Still one of the faster guys in all of Major League Baseball, even in his 12th year. He was thinking double the whole way. Here's Springer, the pitch. Bouncing ball up the middle, picked up on the backhand side by Rogers. Second baseman flips it over to first. 2 down. Kiermaier will move up to third on the play. And here comes Vladimir Guerrero Jr., 2-1 Blue Jays, bottom 2.
Do you remember Dustin Mulligan? Pitched in the big leagues for, I don't know, maybe a year with the Detroit Tigers. He's from Saskatchewan.
I don't think so.
Played on the World Baseball Classic teams with Team Canada. Anyways, I digress. But he won $60,000 in a 50-50 last year in Saskatchewan somewhere. I don't know what it was from. It's definitely not the Blue Jays, but
Vladdy's first pitch is hit in the air down the right field line. Backing up the first baseman Montero into foul territory, makes the catch, and ends the inning. The Blue Jays take the lead back. Leadoff home run by Dalton Varsho, plus Kevin Kiermaier with a double, although he's left stranded. 2-1 Toronto, going to the third. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute-truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Everyone dreams of owning their own personal slice of heaven. Now you can, thanks to Fixed Rate Pizza by Pizza Pizza. Until the end of 2024, lock into an extra-large 4-topping pizza at a fixed price of $17.99. No matter how bad food prices get this year, your pizza price stays. So why not say no to surge pricing and yes to fixed-rate pizza? Order now from Pizza Pizza.
Order pizzapizza.ca.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca. This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Next pitch, Moniak takes off. It's low a ball, throw down to second. They got him!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the order for the Rockies. 2-1 Blue Jays, top of the third inning at Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Kevin Gausman deals to Ezekiel Tovar, misses down and away. 1-0. Gausman gave up 3 hits and a run last inning, although pitched out of trouble with 1 out and runners on second and third. He stopped the damage there. 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1. And he is, if you haven't been with us for the whole game, he is looking more like himself than he had in his start in New York. 1-1 pitch. Called strike. He got a favor there on a breaking ball that looked outside. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tovar, then Ryan McMahon, then Chris Bryant. 1, 2, 3 in the Rocky order. 1-2. Chopped foul. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gausman gets a new baseball. Tovar hit a deep fly ball to the track in left field, caught by Dalton Varsho. Varsho the difference in this game, by the way, homered in the bottom of the second. The 1-2. Hit foul to the right over the netting and into the 200 level. Still 1-2.
Good fastball there that got in on the hands of Tovar. 96 miles an hour, pretty good. 96.3 actually. That's his hardest fastball of the day.
Got to bring the good stuff for Tovar. He's hitting over 300 to start the year. 1-2 is a line shot. Leap by Biggio. It's over his glove and into center field for a base hit.
Yeah, he's a good hitter. That was a really good piece of hitting. A split finger down in the zone that he went down and got. Just lined that baseball right over Kevin Biggio, trying to jump and catch that thing.
It's a base hit to start the third inning, brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Metcalfe and Winchester, Ontario. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. Second inning in a row, the Rockies have a leadoff hit. First pitch to Ryan McMahon, high and outside, ball 1. Tovar's got speed, by the way. Got to watch out for him on first. He takes a healthy 3.5, 4-step lead. Guerrero holds him on. Takes off on the pitch. It's outside. Throw down to second. Not in time. Great jump. And Tovar swipes the bag with ease.
Yeah, that wasn't even close. I don't even know why Kirk threw that ball.
For Tovar, it's his second stolen base of the season. Swiped 11 bags last year. Runners have had success stealing on Kevin Gausman in the past. The fact that he slows down that foot tap before he goes home, some would say he is able to be timed up. Misses low with the 2-0. It's 3-0.
Well, he rarely slide steps.
Very rarely.
That's the thing with Kevin Gausman. He's more of a timing guy. He'll hold the baseball and try to mess with you at first base to disrupt the runner's timing, but he rarely slide steps.
Runner on second, no outs, the 3-0. Green light and a swing and a miss. At the fastball over the heart of the plate, 3-1. Two-1 Blue Jays, road half of the third. Gausman adjusts the brim of his cap, then the back of it. Runner on second, no outs. Staring at it, Tovar. He fires home. Called strike 2. Fastball right on that outside edge.
Yeah, McMahon is shaking his head like, yep, that was a good pitch. Right on the black on the outside part of the plate.
Chris Bryant on deck. Runner on second. Payoff pitch. Hard hit ball through the hole on the right side and rolling toward the corner. Tovar's going to come around third, score easily. McMahon digging for second. In there, stand up double. And it's a 2-2 game.
McMahon just went down and got that split finger. Kind of golfed it into right field, right past Vlad at first base. Good piece of hitting.
Blue Jays outfield was playing him the opposite way also. So George Springer was more in right center, had to run back toward the right field corner, and by the time he picked it up, McMahon was nearly at second. So 2-2, still nobody out. Runner on second, Chris Bryant up the pitch. Low ball 1.
And like we talked about earlier, the offensive side of this team is pretty good. The first 3 of the first 4 hitters are hitting over 340.
Bryant, the outlier there. Just 4 for 41 to start the year. The 1-0. Called strike. On any given day, though, you have to be really conscious of Chris Bryant. Multiple-time All-Star. 1-1. Lifted to shallow right field. Guerrero going out. Springer going in. The second baseman, Biggio, makes the call in shallow right and makes the catch. 1 down.
Good fastball right on the hands of Chris Bryant. He hits kind of a weak pop-up. Actually, it was a tough play for Kevin Biggio. It was in that little triangle that was kind of in the middle, and he bobbled it a bit.
Biggio's got the smaller infield glove on tonight, has a larger outfield glove as well. Did enough to make the catch there. 1 out, runner on second still. That's Ryan McMahon out there with Elias Diaz. Up to the plate, 1 for 1 with a single to right and a run scored. 2-2 game, top of 3, the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Diaz coming off his best major league season. 0-1. Grounded foul, 0-2. Might remember him from the All-Star game. He was the lone All-Star for the Rockies and was the All-Star game MVP. Hit a 2-run homer off Felix Bautista in the 8th inning to give the National League a 3-2 lead that they would hold. 2-strike pitch from Gausman. High and inside, ball 1.
That was a slider? It was definitely a cement mixer. I couldn't really tell what it was, but you rarely see Kevin Gausman throw an 0-2 slider.
Here's his 1-2 pitch. And it's lined up the middle, down in center field for a base hit. They're going to give the wave here as Kiermaier picks it up in center field. Throw to the plate, bounces twice. It's late. McMahon scores. Diaz takes off for second on the throw home. It's 3-2 Rockies. Top of the third, still only one out.
Yeah, that was another slider that was right over the middle, almost middle. And Diaz drills it up the middle. Takes second on the throw by Kiermaier.
Pete Walker's going to come out to the mound. Kevin Gausman's velocity, his stuff looks fairly normal, but he is being hit around a little bit right now by the Rockies, who have scored 3, and we're just in the top of the third.
Yeah, stuff looks good. I think he's just missing over the middle every so often, and the biggest thing is the Rockies are making him pay. They're not getting themselves out. If Kevin Gausman makes a mistake, they are hitting the ball hard somewhere.
4 singles and 2 doubles for the Rockies, who have 6 hits with only 1 out in the road half of the third. Here comes Nolan Jones. Hard-hitting left fielder will bat from the left side. Kiner Falefa playing inside the baseline with his toes on the infield turf. Everyone else is shifted to the pull side. Shortstop Bichette up the middle, playing behind the runner, Elias Diaz. The pitch. Called strike. Jones takes a fastball on the outside edge. Strike 1. Mentioned he was one of the better rookies in the National League last year. .297 average last season. 0-1. Smokes the ball to right field. That's trouble. That's bouncing and headed toward the wall. Diaz will score without a throw. Jones into second. RBI double for him. It's 4-2 for the Rockies.
And again, Kevin Gausman missed his spot. Alejandro Kirk was set up on the outside part of the plate, and he threw a fastball up. Actually, that was a good piece of hitting from Nolan Jones. That was in on the hands, and he kind of pulls the hands through. Hits that thing down the line. I'm telling you, this lineup is better than you think.
Eloise Montero up the pitch. Fouled off into the netting. Strike 1. 3 runs this inning for the Rockies. 2 singles, 2 doubles. Colorado out to a 4-2 lead. Knees bent by Montero. Wide stance. Gausman throws back to second. Close play. A dive back safely by Nolan Jones. Blue Jays have Paulo Espino getting loose right now. There's no pitch restriction on Gausman per John Schneider. But maybe if it keeps going this way, the Blue Jays will go to the bullpen here. Oh, 1 for Gausman. Bounced, blocked by Kirk. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, the thing is, he's just not fooling anybody tonight, and I think that sometimes that happens. As a pitcher, you'll go out there and you think you're making good pitches, you think you have good break on whatever pitch you're throwing, but you're just not fooling anybody.
The 1-1. Hit well to left. Varsho curling back, backpedaling, twists to his right, makes the catch on the track. 2 outs. Gausman looking to stop the bleeding now with 2 down and a runner on second. Brendan Rodgers coming up. Rodgers doubled home the first Rockies run today in the second. Second baseman bats right. Twists the bat around over his right shoulder. The pitch. Fouled back on the ground into the backstop off to the left. 0-1.
And I guess if you're the Blue Jays, a positive thing about being down by 2 early in this game is this Rockies team has the worst bullpen ERA in all of baseball at 6.52.
They have had a tough start. Now they obviously pitch in a tough environment at Coors Field. 2 outs, runner on second. The 0-1. Called strike. 0-2.
Manny Gonzalez has a big zone today.
He does. Hasn't stopped the offense, though. Top of the third inning, 6 total runs in this game. 4-2 Rockies over Blue Jays. Rockies with 3 in the frame. Gausman trying to shut them down now. 0-2 to Rogers. Foul tipped back into the screen. Bounces just wide right of the Blue Jays logo. Picked up by a ball boy. And we'll continue here in the top of the third.
Yeah, again, the stuff is there. That last fastball is 95.3. It's just the command.
0-2 again. Down low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Blue Jays will have 3, 4, 5 coming up in the bottom of the third. Bichette, Turner, Biggio, all of whom reached safely in the first inning. Gausman peeking at second, fires home. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Pitch in the dirt, but Rogers is just going to stand there and shed his equipment. Kirk applies the tag. It's a 4th strikeout of the day for Gausman. Rockies score 3, though, on 4 hits, leave 1 on, and take a 4-2 lead. Middle of the third. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This is PGA Tour Pro Smiley Kaufman, and I'm happy to announce that you can now hear me on Sports Grid Radio. Just in time for the Masters, I'm bringing my show, The Smiley Show, to channel 159, where I'll catch up with other golfers, athletes, and celebrities.
John Rahm becomes the 4th Spaniard to win at Augusta.
Join me every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. in the East on Sports Grid Radio. Channel 159 in your car and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
Blue Jays fans, your manager, John Schneider, joins MLB Network Radio's Power Alley every other Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
I got all the confidence in the world in Joe Romano. I've known him for a long time. I know his demeanor. And I always say, when you're talking about a closer giving up a couple runs in the 9th inning, it's just so much more magnified than a starting pitcher giving up a 2-run homer.
Managers at the mic on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89 and the SXM app.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Radio Network.
Bo Bichette steps into the righty batter's box, taps the plate, and is ready to go. Bottom of the third inning, 4-2 Rockies over Blue Jays. The pitch from Ryan Feltner is a fastball whizzed in for strike 1. Bichette 1 for 1 today, stolen base and a run scored. Singled back in the first with 2 down and started a rally. The 0-1. Hit in the air to right, shallow. Second baseman Rogers out in right field makes the catch. 1 down. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth, encouraging you to step up for the home team and shop local. Timbermart stores are family-owned and operated and know the value in giving back to the communities they serve. Now more than ever, it's important to shop local. In the Timbermart broadcast booth, I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Justin Turner up with 1 out and the bases empty. 4-2 Rockies, the pitch from Feltner. Called strike 1. Turner walked in the first inning, stranded at third. The 0-1. Called strike 2. Back-to-back pitches right on the edges for Feltner, who is pitching with his largest lead so far today.
And you rarely see frustration from Bo Bichette, at least a lot of frustration. And he was in the dugout slamming his helmet.
0-2 popped up right side, foul territory. Montero sprinting toward the side warning track, makes the catch right in front of the Rockies' first base dugout. 2 outs.
He had the helmet in his hand and he was slamming it 3, 4, 5 times. And then he put the helmet down and he hit the helmet with his bare hand. That's kind of, He doesn't look bad. Like he's looked good over the last 3 or 4 games, but I think that was probably a pitch that he either shouldn't have swung at or he thinks he should have done something with.
Bichette was the first out, Turner the second, bases empty. The pitch to Kevin Biggio. In there, strike one. 4-2 Rockies, 2 outs, bases empty, bottom of the third. Kevin Gausman allowing 3 runs on 4 hits to the Rockies in the top of the third. 0-1. Called strike 2. They're working Biggio down and in so far. Cavan 1 for 1, RBI single, knocked in Bichette in the first. 2-strike pitch. Bounce to the plate, good pick on the backhand side by Diaz, 1-2. Feltner adjusts his belt, kicks some dirt away from the front of the rubber, looks down, and now looks home. Into the wind. His 1-2. High and outside. Biggio never left the box, twitching his bat around on top of his left shoulder. 2-2 pitch. High again, full count. Biggio asks for time, doesn't step out again, just puts his lead right foot on the back line for a moment of the batter's box, now ready to go. Payoff pitch with 2 down. Biggio fights it off foul.
Yeah, Kevin Biggio is so good at just fighting, along with Justin Turner's really good at that too, just fouling off tough pitches, finding a way to get on base. He fouls off a tough pitch there on the inside part of the plate.
Biggio hitting .314 to start the year, .415 on base. The 3-2. Called strike 3. Biggio set down there by a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Feltner. 4-2 Rockies. We're headed to the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
They are among the greatest to ever play their sports.
Caitlin Clark is the all-time scoring leader.
They are legends and icons.
Larry Bird hit the shot with no second thought. I don't know how he did it.
And you can hear them right now on the all-new SiriusXM app.
We are here with Iowa superstar Caitlin Clark.
I'm so focused on winning. It's never anything I ever take for granted.
Here comes Larry Bird, the Hall of Famer, and he just won Legend of the Year.
Legend of the Year, isn't that something? For access to the game's greats, rely on the leader in sports audio. SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
Hey, baseball fans, NBA Radio is your home for the best 24/7 hoops talk.
LeBron, 3 for the tie. It's good!
Hear nonstop talk from our experts every day and the best games every night as we get you ready for the playoffs and the quest to raise the Larry O'Brien Trophy.
After 47 years, the Denver Nuggets are finally NBA champions.
Don't miss a moment on SiriusXM NBA Radio, Channel 86, in the car and on the brand new SiriusXM app.
While you're listening to this game on SiriusXM, we're talking about the latest odds and prop bets for this and every game on Sports Grid Radio.
The under's -125. Heavy juice to the under.
Every home run hit and every strikeout thrown can change the line.
I can't for the life of me figure out how you can favor a team that never wins, ever.
If you're looking for sports talk centered around the latest odds and prop bets for games, races, tournaments, or any sporting event, Sports Grid Radio, SiriusXM, Channel 159.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
It's the 4th inning, presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. 4-2 for the Rockies. Road half of the 4th at Rogers Center. Michael Tolia, the switch hitter, leads off. He bats left. Kevin Gausman's first pitch is outside. Ball 1. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left, Chris LaRue. We'll look around baseball at the out-of-town scores after Tolia's plate appearance. Gausman's 1-0. Hit down the left field line in the air. Varsho going into the corner, stops, makes the catch. 1 out. The out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. Join them for wings, ribs, beer, cocktails, and catch every play at your local St. Louis Bar and Grill. Download the app or visit stlouiswings.com for more details. Always devilishly good. 9-hitter Brenton Doyle is up, batting from the right side. Corners are in. The first pitch. Fastball, strike one. 4-2 Rockies, one out. Top of the fourth inning, nobody on. As we zoom around baseball, AL East game going on in St. Petersburg. 0-1. Called strike two. It's an interleague game, AL East on NL West, just like this one in Toronto. Tampa Bay hosting San Francisco, and right now it's a 2-1 lead for the Rays over the Giants. Top of the fifth. Giants are hitting right now, but Ahmed Rosario's RBI triple is the difference in the game so far. Former Blue Jay Jacob Waguespack starting for the Rays. 0-2 pitch, down and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Over at Fenway Park, the Boston Red Sox on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, down 5-0 to the Los Angeles Angels in the top of the fourth. The 1-2. Broken bat, looper, right center field. Springer will pull up. It bounces in front of him. Base hit for the 9-hitter Doyle. He's on first with 1 out.
That's just tough luck for Kevin Gausman. That was a good pitch right on the hands of Doyle. Breaks his bat and kind of just dumps it in front of Springer and Kiermaier in right center. I was always upset with those ones.
Rockies have done a good job, though, of putting bat on ball and forcing some luck. 8 hits already for the Rockies. 1 out, runner on first, top of the fourth. 4-2 Colorado. The pitch to Ezekiel Tovar. Slide step and a foul back. 0-1.
And a big hole on the right side of the infield. Vlad is holding on the runner at first base, and Kevin Biggio is somewhat close to second base. Almost up the middle.
Yeah, not as extreme as they sometimes play, but definitely still over there to the pull side against right-handed hitting Tovar. Turning to throw to first. Dive back safe, but it was close. Brenton Doyle gets his jersey dirty, and gets back up. Big streak of dirt going down the left thigh of Doyle. Tovar taps the back of the plate. With 1 out, the 0-1 pitch from Gausman. Fly ball to left, shallow. Varsho on the run, toward the foul line, stops in the middle of left field, makes the catch. 2 outs. On that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, so it's 5-0 Angels. 2 hits from Nolan Shanwell, 2 hits from Aaron Hicks. But the Red Sox with 3 errors, 3 unearned runs against Tanner Houck, their starter. They have kicked it around at Fenway Park. 5-0 LA, who's threatening again. Top of the fourth. 2 outs, 4-2 Colorado. Top of the fourth in Toronto. And the first pitch is high to Ryan McMahon, who's 1 for 2 with a double and RBI run score. At Camden Yards, the Orioles getting beat early on. Top of the fourth inning in Baltimore. It's 4-0 for the visiting Milwaukee Brewers. 1-0. Pops out of the glove of Kirk, who tosses his mask off, goes after it. Only bounced about a foot away from him. 2 balls and no strikes. Jackson Holliday still searching for his first major league hit. He's 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. Two-run shot for Gary Sanchez for the Brewers has helped them to a 4-0 lead. Swing and a miss by McMahon on the 2-0. It's 2-1 with 2 outs, a runner on first.
Gary Sanchez. Haven't heard his name in a while.
The Sanchez.
It used to be the Sanchez. I don't think it's that like that anymore.
Involved in a trade for Blue Jays third baseman Isaiah Kiner-Falefa a couple years ago when he went from the Yankees to the Twins. Throw over to first, close again. But Doyle back again, and he's been aggressive, and they've almost caught him out for it twice. Doyle with a single stands on first. 2 outs, 2-1 count, top of the fourth inning, 4-2 for the Rockies over the Blue Jays early on. The pitch. Broken bat, looper to left field, down for a base hit. second bloop single of the inning, second one that's cost a Rocky their bat, but also the second hit today for Ryan McMahon. Doyle up to second, 2 on with 2 out.
Yeah, another tough pitch, but McMahon goes down and gets that split finger, breaks his bat. You could hear that from up here, and kind of just finds a way to get on base. That's what the Rockies have been doing. They've just been finding a way to get on base, and that's frustrating for Kevin Gausman.
Gausman looking to regroup and try to put up his first scoreless frame since the first inning. 1 for the Rockies in the second and 3 in the third, which is why they lead 4-2 right now. Top of the fourth. Chris Bryant is up, 0 for 2 today. First and second, 2 down, the pitch. In the dirt, blocked by Kirk, 1-0. Last AL East team on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard is the Yankees, supposed to be visiting Cleveland today, but inclement weather has postponed that game. 1-0 to the former Cub and Giant, Chris Bryant. Is hit well to left center field. Kiermaier on the run. It's over his head and up against the wall. In to score Doyle. McMahon following him. Bryant up to second, and the Rockies have blown it open on Chris Bryant's 2-run double. It's 6-2 Colorado.
Again, another mistake from Kevin Gausman, just a slider that was middle, and even Chris Bryant, who's struggling this season, takes advantage of that missed pitch, and here comes John Schneider.
A second straight start with 6 allowed for Gausman. He struggles in 3 2/3 against Colorado at home and is talking into his glove right now to Schneider, who's already made the points to the pen. 6-2 Rockies. Runner on second, 2 outs, top of the fourth inning. Let's go to baseball control for the first time today. Here's our host, Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. Before we check out that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, a reminder that Blair and Barker have Jay's Talk today. They will take your phone calls after the final out. Blair will throw out the numbers to call after this game is in the books. He is down at the Rogers Center tonight. All right, let's check out that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Let's check out the leaderboard over at Augusta National. The Masters on this weekend, so we'll be checking in often over the next few days. Round 2 in the books. It finishes with Bryson DeChambeau, Scotty Scheffler, Max Homa all tied for the clubhouse lead at 6 under. Corey Connors is Canada's best so far. He's tied for 24th at 2 over, just one back of Tiger, who sits at 1 over at the end of round 2. In Major League Baseball, a couple of scores across the AL East. Giants at Rays, Tampa leading 2-1 right now. Yandy Diaz with a bases-loaded walk. Ahmed Rosario with an RBI triple. Brewers at Orioles, Milwaukee up 4-0. Gary Sanchez with a 2-run bomb. Joey Ortiz with an RBI triple as well. Angels at Red Sox at Fenway Park. LA is up 5-0. Taylor Ward, Brandon Drury, and Aaron Hicks all with RBI early on. The Raptors are in action tonight in the NBA. They're taking on the Heat in Miami. It's the penultimate game of the regular season, and Miami still leads 7-6 a couple minutes into the first quarter. Raptors reaction with Will Liu will follow via podcast after the game. Will also announcing his departure from Sportsnet at the conclusion of the Raptors season. So from all of us here, Will, it's been fun being your teammate over these last 3 years. Blue Jays Baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the action down at the Rogers Center on the other side of downtown Toronto. With the call, here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. New pitcher for the Blue Jays is the right-hander Paulo Espino. Kevin Gausman's day done with 2 outs in the top of the fourth inning. He's allowed 6 runs so far on 10 hits, no walks, struck out 4. Now the Panamanian right-hander Paulo Espino trying to get the final out of the inning with Chris Bryant on second. He deals to Elias Diaz. First pitch, curveball at 69 miles an hour, strike 1. Second appearance of the season for Espino, who started the year with the Buffalo Bisons. His 0-1 is just inside a fastball at 88 miles an hour, 1-1.
Yeah, Diaz was actually really uncomfortable with that 88-mile-an-hour fastball in on the hands, and that just shows you how effective that fastball inside is.
1-1 breaking ball, misses inside. That'll make it 2-1. Espino pitching parts of the last 4 seasons with the Washington Nationals, mostly 2021 and 2022. Slow breaking ball hooked on the ground to third on the 2-1. Bryant stops, and IKF throws through to first base to end the inning. Rockies get 2 more, though, on Chris Bryant's 2-run double. It's 6-2 Colorado, middle of the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's building center. Visit timbermart.ca.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Fastball cracked to center field, to the wall, to the track. It's gone.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Bottom of the 4th inning, I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer today. Andrew Adams and Tom Young, our technical directors. Alejandro Kirk, Dalton Varsho, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa hit for the Blue Jays in the bottom of the 4th. 6-2 Rockies. The pitch. Kirk takes strike 1 from right-handed starter Ryan Feltner. Can't give up against the Rockies, even down 4 runs early. The 0-1. Low 1-1. Colorado has averaged the most runs allowed per game in Major League Baseball so far this year. 6.85 runs allowed per game. Next pitch is bounced to third. Fielded on the forehand side by McMahon. He'll throw out Kirk, 1 down.
But we are not in Coors Field.
That is true. That is true. Although they were the victim of a 14-run inning at Arizona early in the season. Coors Field certainly plays a factor into it. Don't get me wrong. But this is a team that home and road has struggled to prevent runs recently. Although tonight they've looked good. Rockies up 6-2, 1 out. Dalton Varsho up, who homered on the first pitch he saw in the second. First home run of the year for Varsho. The pitch. Down low, ball 1. Trying to play a little reverse psychology after he jumped on an early fastball first time up. A changeup thrown there by Feltner below the zone. 1-0.
Yeah, not surprising he sees something other than a fastball first pitch here.
1-0 pitch, foul tipped into the glove. That was a middle-in slider for strike 1.
That was a good swing from Dalton Varsho. He just missed that thing, just swung a little bit underneath it.
1-1 pitch. Inside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Bases empty and 1 out. 6-2 Rockies. It's the back half of the 4th inning, and the infield extreme pull shift right now on Varsho. 2-1 pitch is flared foul to the left side, 2-2.
I wouldn't advise to bunt with 2 strikes, but Varsho could really bunt right now.
It's a lot of space. Third baseman McMahon is playing deep and almost at the midway point between third and second. Shortstop Tovar up the middle. 2-2. Ripped foul down the right field line. Second baseman Rogers is shifted over near first base, probably about halfway between first and second. He's got his heels on the outfield turf, and the first baseman Montero way deep at first, close to the line. 2-2. Outside, good take by Varsho, full count.
Yeah, most importantly right there was a confident take. He wasn't leaking. He was really He stayed within himself, took that pitch nice and easy.
Payoff. Varsho hits a bouncing ball, dive, but it's not gloved by Montero. It's off his heel and rolling towards second base. The first baseman had to go to his backhand side, tried to make a tough play, and that should be a base hit for Dalton Varsho with one out.
And if Montero doesn't try to make that diving play, that ball would probably have snuck through that hole. Even if he made that play, Dalton Varsho probably would have beaten it out at first base. Good to see him 2 for 2 now.
Infield single for Varsho. Here's IKF. Blue Jays have stolen a base today. Varsho teetering back and forth as he takes his lead off first. First pitch, he doesn't go, and IKF takes ball 1. Varsho almost waddling like a penguin out there, 3.5 steps away from the bag. The pitch, high and inside, 2-0.
The only thing I don't love about if Varsho stole second is it closes that hole up on the right side of the infield. Right now there's a huge hole, and IKF is pretty good at going the other way.
Montero wouldn't be holding on a runner, so he'd be behind the bag. 2-0. Called strike, 2-1. They might not want to risk it 2 down, 4 runs right now, looking for potentially a big hit to change this game. IKF's 0 for 1, the pitch. Fouled back over the netting, 2-2.
I think risking it down 4 is probably the biggest factor.
Varsho takes his 3 steps, inches out a little bit more off first. With 1 out, the 2-2 to IKF. Bouncing ball foul down the third base line. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. You got IKF, who during this homestand so far has been really good. Played the first 2 games against the Mariners. Both games that the Blue Jays won, had 5 hits in those 2 games. Got the rest in game 3 where the Blue Jays lost in extras. Batting .303 to start the year, mid-700s OPS. 2-2, called strike 3. 96 on the inside edge, he knew it. 2 down. Here comes Kevin Kiermaier, a practice swing, and he steps into the lefty batter's box with a runner on first and 2 outs. 6-2 Rockies over Blue Jays. Feltner, the starter, into the set. Kicks and fires. Kiermaier bunts it down the third base line. Picked up by the catcher, Diaz. Throw to first, pulls Montero off the bag. That ball might have been going foul, but Diaz, in a haste, barehanded it as it was rolling toward the foul line. Tried to make the tough throw. That'll be a bunt single for Kevin Kiermaier. And there are 2 on for George Springer with 2 outs.
In that situation, Diaz has to know who's running. He has no chance to make that play at first base. And from up here, our vantage point, we can clearly see that ball has the potential to go foul.
Yeah.
He needs to leave that ball, let it go foul. And even if it doesn't go foul, at least you tried. He had no chance to get Kiermaier at first base.
First and second, the pitch to Springer in the dirt, ball 1. It looked to me like that hit the lip of the turf, the infield turf, and started to roll even pretty quickly toward the foul line.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious almost. I'm sure he saw that. It was just one of those quick reaction plays.
1-0. Springer hits it back into the screen. So the bunt single after the Varsho infield single. It's first and second, 2 outs. Speed on both first and second base. If Springer can find a gap here, it could score 2. 6-2 right now for the Rockies, home half of the 4th. Springer 0 for 2, strikeout and a ground out. The 1-1. Fouled back. Guerrero tries to barehand it, drops it in the on-deck circle. 1-2.
Yeah, Springer really pulled off on that pitch there. It was a slider from Feltner that was middle, and you could see the eyeballs of Springer just get huge. And he pulled his left shoulder and tried to do too much there.
The 1-2. High chopper to second. Rogers charges it, gloves it, throw over to first, pulled Montero off the bag, but he got his foot back on in time. to end the inning. 2 hits for the Blue Jays, both stranded. They still trail 6-2 as we head to the 5th at Rogers Center. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
I have been a Taylor Swift fan for as long as I can remember. I have vivid memories of singing this song so loudly with my friends back when we were in high school.
You belong with me.
Hey, it's Taylor.
For 1 month, listen now.
SiriusXM, Channel 13, Taylor's version.
Her music can connect with anybody.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
It's a home run for Ronald Acuna.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to daily fantasy basketball to getting you ready for the NFL Draft, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
How you manage your team day in and day out will be the difference in where you finish in 2024.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
This is Bob Kendrick, president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum and host of the SiriusXM original podcast, Black Diamonds. Hear stories about the legends of the Negro Leagues and conversations with the all-time greats they've influenced, like 5-time World Series champion Derek Jeter.
I don't care what race you are. You need to know your past. This is U.S. history. It's not just baseball history.
Hear over 70 episodes of the award-winning Black Diamonds podcast, available now on the SiriusXM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
The 5th inning is brought to you by Desjardins Insurance, helping Canadians through it all. Desjardins Insurance, insurance with a heart so big, it shows. Visit Desjardins.com/heart today. 6-2 Rockies. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Paulo Espino in his second inning of work gets 5, 6, 7 for Colorado, starting with Nolan Jones. Right-hander into the wind. His pitch. Breaking ball for strike one. Jones, Elauris Montero, and Brendan Rodgers to hit this inning for Colorado. Veteran Espino into the wind, 0-1. Outside, 1-1.
I'll tell you what, that wasn't a good one there, but Espino's slow ephus curveball is a thing of beauty. I actually like his more than I like Chris Bassett's.
Every pretty soft from Espino, but a lot of spin. 1-1 changeup hit foul, 1-2. Guy who was drafted by Cleveland in 2006 in the 10th round out of IMG Academy in Florida. Pitched for Milwaukee and Texas a little bit in 2017. Resurfaced in the majors in 2020 with the Nationals. 1-2. Smoke to right field. Springer's not even going to give it a jog. That ball's way gone. And for Nolan Jones, his first home run of the season. 7-2 Rockies. Nobody out, top of the 5th.
Yeah, Espino tried to sneak that fastball up and in, but Nolan Jones hits that thing 112 miles an hour up in the second deck in right field, and he's a good young player.
20 homers, 20 steals last year, 22 steals for Nolan Jones, and he was waiting a little bit for that one. Rockies had a lot of their top hitters a little bit colder than usual, like Jones, Bryant, Brendan Rodgers. Not tonight. They're up 7-2. First pitch to Elauris Montero, pardon me, is low, ball one. 7-2 Rockies in the top of the 5th. 1-0 from Espino. A little bit inside, 2-0. Let's take a look at some of the other scores around baseball. The St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Orioles on the board, 2-0. Montero fouls it off, 2-1. Orioles hosting the Milwaukee Brewers, who are off to an 8-3 start to the year, despite giving Corbin Burns over to Baltimore. Brandon Woodruff not being available this year. The 2-1. Swing and a miss, strike two. It was Gary Sanchez with a homer. Then Joey Ortiz RBI triple, Rhys Hoskins RBI single. Colton Cowser homered to make it 4-1, but just as we were checking the out-of-town scoreboard, Willie Adames with a 3-run homer for Milwaukee. They're up 7-1 on Baltimore, top of the 5th inning. Freddie Peralta with a really strong start so far. 4 innings, 9 Ks for the Brewers starter. 2-2 to Montero from Espino is lifted to shallow right. Springer charging in, makes the catch. 1 down. Still 2-1 Tampa Bay over San Francisco and St. Petersburg on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Jacob Waguespack went 4 innings, no earned runs, 1 unearned run for the former Blue Jay. Still 5-0 Angels over Boston at Fenway. First pitch to Brendan Rodgers. Down and away, ball 1. 1 out. Blue Jays and Rockies top of the 5th inning. Rockies batting up 7-2.
Waguespack looked a bit shaky when he pitched against the Blue Jays early on in the season.
1-0. Downstairs 2-0.
Good to see him turning things around.
Yeah, and Waguespack was in as a reliever, gave up 2 runs to the Blue Jays in 1 inning in the series finale in Tampa Bay. 2-0 pitch, called strike. 2-1.
I think he walked 4 guys, if I'm not mistaken.
He did. 2-1 pitch. Inside, 3-1. A lot of chatter amongst the crowd. 3-1 offering. Called strike 3-2. A lot of the fans tonight looking at the 3-10 Rockies coming in. Kevin Gausman on the mound. But just another reminder that on any given day in Major League Baseball, anyone can give you a test. Rockies doing more than that right now as Rodgers fouls it off. They're up 7-2. We're just about to get to the halfway point of this game. And Paulo Espino is pitching in his 2nd inning.
And let's not forget that Charlie Blackmon is on the bench as well. He's hitting .326 right now, 14 for 43. He's one of the best hitters in this lineup.
3-2. Inside ball 4. Rodgers walks. Here comes Michael Toglia.
So he'll be in the lineup tomorrow. He'll probably be in the lineup Sunday. That just makes this lineup that much better. You have to really make your pitches. That's something that Kevin Gausman didn't really do today. Yes, his velocity was fine, and everybody's happy about that. But he made mistakes, and this Colorado Rockies team made him pay every time he made a mistake.
6 runs scored off Gausman in 3 2/3. In 2/3 of an inning, Espino has given up 1. Called strike against Toglia, 0-1. 7-2 Rocks. Runner on first, top of the 5th inning. Toglia, the switch hitter, bats left. 0-1. Hair outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Espino reaching down to pick up some dirt from the rubber. Sets with his glove near his chin, and the 1-1. Outside, 2-1. Got to talk to Espino yesterday about being with this team, or 2 days ago, being with this team for the home opener. He was just blown away by the presentations and the pageantry of the home opener in Toronto. 2-1. Foul tipped, strike 2. Had been with Washington for a home opener for the Nationals. Believe he said in 2022 it was. But he said that this really didn't compare to anything he saw, either being the home team or as a visiting team, watching others have it. 2-2 pitch, cut on and miss, strike 3. Breaking ball bounced. Toglia swings over top of it, 2 outs.
Yeah, it's always special when, he doesn't know when his next home opener will be, or if this is his last home opener ever. I only got to experience 2 home openers. Obviously I can remember both of them because I only had 2 of them, right? Like if you've had 13, 14 home openers, they kind of get redundant.
First pitch to Brenton Doyle. Fastball, strike 1. Espino, the 37-year-old right-hander, pitching with a runner on first, 2 outs, 7-2 Rockies. They've scored in each of the last 4 frames. Espino nods, puts his glove up near his face, kicks and fires the 0-1. Fouled back, 0-2. Blue Jays defense shifted to the pull in the infield and outfield. Pretty much the full 90 feet of space open between first and second, with Guerrero holding on the runner and Biggio playing behind the second base bag. 2-strike pitch. Doyle takes a block from Kirk on a curveball bounced. Spino with a peek over his shoulder. Reaches back for the 1-2. Breaking ball, called strike 3 on the inside edge. Back-to-back strikeouts end the inning, but Nolan Jones, with his first home run of the season, extends the Rockies' lead halfway through this game. 7-2 Colorado in Toronto. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The biggest clubs in world soccer clash at the UEFA Champions League. And it's on SiriusXM FC.
What a brilliant finish that is from Avinia!
After a thrilling 3-2 win in Paris, Barcelona host PSG in the second leg of the quarterfinals with a spot in the last 4 on the line.
Breaks to Dembele, left-footed right into the back of the net!
Barcelona versus PSG, Tuesday at 3 Eastern on SiriusXM FC 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
2:30 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 400
from Texas Motor Speedway on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer! Yes!
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, original specials, and much, much, much more. All baseball, every day, on your radio. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host and producer, Andrew Adams, and Tom Young, our technical directors. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leads off the home half of the 5th and takes a fastball low, 1-0. 7-2 Rockies lead over the Blue Jays right now, but the Blue Jays have Guerrero, Bo Bichette, Justin Turner hitting here in the bottom of the 5th. 1-0. Down and away, 2-0. Ryan Feltner, though, has settled down after giving up a run in each of the first 2 innings. Allowed 2 hits in the infield in the 4th, but that's the only real damage since Kevin Kiermaier's double in the 2nd. Next pitch to Vladdy, called a ball, certainly looked like it was in the zone. 3-0 count for Guerrero, who's 0 for 2.
Yeah, that was just one of those awkward, ugly pitches that could have been a ball and should have been a ball, or a strike.
3-0 inside. Vlad turns away from it. Ball 4. Let's take a look at the injury report brought to you by Bergmanis Prira Personal Injury Lawyers. If life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company, get ahead of the count and call Bergmanis Prira Personal Injury Lawyers. You focus on getting better, and Bergmanis Prira will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca. Bo Bichette about to hit. Kicking some dirt out in the box. Guerrero takes the lead off first. 7-2 Rockies. Nobody out. Bottom of the 5th. Bo's 1 for 2 today. A single, a stolen base, a run scored. First pitch high and tight, ball 1. 5 straight balls to start the 5th for Feltner. Bo no worse for wear, though. Let's get to the injury report on that topic. Alek Manoah pitching in Game 1 of Buffalo's doubleheader tomorrow. Elias Diaz going out to the mound right now to talk to his starter, who's lost control here to start the 5th. Manoah's going to pitch Game 1 of the 7-inning doubleheader. Buffalo had a rainout, so that's why they have 2 games. Jordan Romano and Eric Swanson will follow, and Danny Jansen's supposed to catch that whole 7-inning game. Plan is for Jano to catch twice on the weekend and see how he feels after Sunday. So likely catch Friday, catch Sunday, and see how he feels. Those are the notes on the guys on the injured list. Here's Bo Bichette back in the box. 1-0 count, runner on first, the pitch. fouled off. That one in the zone, right over the heart of the plate, a slider. It's 1-1. Only other thing kind of injury-related, kind of not, concerns Blue Jays offseason signing Yariel Rodriguez. First the 1-1. Bichette hits another one foul to the right side. Rodriguez, who the Blue Jays brought in on a 5-year deal in excess of $30 million, is in the clubhouse for the Blue Jays tonight. Will be activated some point this weekend. 1-2 fouled back, still 1-2. And the Blue Jays were very non-committal, I will say, about who is starting tomorrow and what the situation is there. They did not absolutely commit to tomorrow's start being made by Bowden Francis. The 1-2. High and tight, 2-2. The fans unhappy now as Feltner has come inside a couple times, both on Guerrero and Bichette.
Is Rodriguez's start day tomorrow if he were to stay in Buffalo?
I think so.
The stars are aligning, my friend.
2-2. Bichette bounces the ball to second. This should be 2. Fielded chest high by Rogers. Flips to second for 1. Back to first. 4-6-3. Double play. That will clear the bases. And now 2 outs for Justin Turner.
Yeah, that was just a rally killer right there. You have the heart of the order up. That was actually a good at-bat by Bo to get to 3-2, fought off some tough pitches. Then you ground into a double play.
First pitch to Turner's in there, strike 1. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th inning, 7-2 lead for the Rockies over the Blue Jays. Blue Jays led 1-0 and then 2-1, and the Rockies have scored 6 straight. 0-1. Turner takes low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Turner 0 for 1, walked in the first, popped out to first in foul territory in the third. 1-1 pitch. Flare to shallow right field. Rogers, the second baseman, going out. It bounces over his head and in front of the right fielder, Tolia. Definitely a bit of a bloop single there for Justin Turner, but his hot start to the season continues, and he extends the 5th inning. Here comes Cavan Biggio.
Well, Tolia was afraid to dive there. He was afraid to slide because the second baseman, Rogers, was running out full speed. And then kind of at the last second, they both backed away because, I mean, that's a very scary play, especially as a fielder. When you can't hear each other, you can't hear anything, and scary.
First pitch to Biggio, hit back into the netting, 0-1. 2 outs, Turner on first, 7-2 Rockies, bottom 5. Biggio singled up the middle and drove in a run in the first inning, struck out looking in the third. Left-handed hitting has been strong for the Blue Jays today against right-handed starter Ryan Feltner. 0-1. Called strike 2. If you combine the line of Biggio, Varsho, and Kiermaier, they're 5 for 6 with 3 singles, a double, a homer, and both Blue Jay RBIs today. 0-2. Bouncing ball up the middle, gloved on the backhand side by Rogers, throws across his body late. Infield single, Cavan Biggio. Wasn't hit very hard up the middle, and that's what made the trouble for Rogers. Turner also hustled into second to nullify any opportunity of getting the out there. And now Rogers being checked on in shallow center field by Nolan Jones. He kind of stumbled over in the process of making the throw. He'll walk back to his position, though, and here comes Alejandro Kirk with 2 on and 2 out.
Well, Cavan Biggio hit that ball exactly where he hit it earlier in the ball game. Earlier in the ball game, he had that line drive single up the middle, but Rogers was playing in the hole. He was shaded in the hole between first and second. There was a huge hole up the middle. Cavan Biggio finds it with a little bouncer.
First pitch to Kirk. And there's strike 1. Feltner probably nearing his end. That was his 91st pitch of the day. Right-hander Peter Lambert getting loose for the Rockies. 2 on, 2 out, the 0-1. Called strike 2. It's been a big zone all night, and that one looked off the plate outside. but Kirk now behind in an 0-2 hole.
Yeah, Kirk a little bit frustrated. You don't really see him get frustrated like that very often, but he faked like he was going to slam the bat on the ground and then thought better of it, but clearly that was a ball.
Infield and outfield play, Alejandro Kirk straight up. Turner on second, Biggio on first. The 2-strike pitch. Hit over the screen, foul, and back behind the plate. Still 0-2. That was kind of a middle slider there.
Yeah, he needs to stay right on that thing. There's a big hole on the right side of the infield. Just keep the line moving. Don't try to do too much. You don't need a homer here.
0-2. Hit to right field. Tolia going back. He's at the track, and he makes the catch to end the inning. Kirk teases the wall, but 2 runners stranded for the Blue Jays after the Turner and Biggio 2-out hits. After 5 innings, they trail 7-5 at Rogers Center. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Think 2-minute-truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute-truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute-truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
I am by your side. Got a heart so big, on this you can rely. No mountains too tall for the strong boots to climb. I am by your side.
That was Desjardins Insurance, playing insurance with a heart so big it shows. Tune in for your auto and home coverage at desjardins.com/heart.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Fastball hit to center field. Varsho with a dive, and he makes the catch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's the 6th inning, brought to you by Desjardins Insurance, helping Canadians through it all. Desjardins Insurance, insurance with a heart so big it shows. Visit Desjardins.com/heart today. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left, Chris LaRue. Andrew Adams, Tom Young, our technical directors tonight. Show Ali, our host and producer. Appreciate you tuning in on this Friday night. Blue Jays down 7-2 to the Rockies. First pitch at the top of the 6th is hit foul by Ezequiel Tovar, 0-1. Still the right-hander Paulo Espino on the mound for the Blue Jays. Tovar 1 for 3 today, a single and 2 flyouts, 0-1. Swing and a miss. Behind 88 from Espino. 0-2.
I love seeing that, just blowing an 88-mile-an-hour fastball by somebody.
He flips in so many of those high 60s, low 70s breaking balls. Here's his 0-2. Breaking ball smashed to left field. Varsho is going back. That ball's out of here. Second home run off of Paulo Espino for the Rockies, who are up 8-2. Top of the 6th. Nobody out.
And again, this Rockies lineup is not missing pitches. If you are making a mistake today and you're a Blue Jays pitcher, someone is hitting it hard somewhere, and that has happened all game. It happened to Kevin Gausman, and now it's happening to Paulo Espino.
They give Tomar the ski helmet and goggles. That's their home run celebration. Here's Ryan McMahon, left-handed hitter, first pitch. High ball 1. Well, a bit of an ugly score here. Let's look at some of the other scores around baseball, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. It's 8-2 Rockies right now. No outs, top of the 6th. 1-0 to McMahon. Is down and in ball 2. Similar ugly score the Orioles are facing at Camden Yards. The 7-1 Milwaukee lead has turned into a 9-1 Milwaukee lead over Baltimore. 2-0 pitch, called strike. William Contreras with a 2-run home run. Milwaukee has hit 3 home runs in the game, plus a triple to lead 9-1, still batting top of the 6th.
And how is Jackson Holiday done?
Next pitch, hit down the right field line. Fair ball for McMahon, rolling into the corner, picked up by Springer. McMahon with his second double of the day. It's a stand-up double with nobody out. Holiday is hitless with 2 strikeouts today, 0 for 2. Freddie Peralta has fanned 10 Orioles in 5 innings of 1-run ball. Holiday still searching for his first big league hit. The Rockies, meanwhile, just picked up their 13th hit of the evening. Double for McMahon. Here's Chris Bryant, whose 2-run double in the 4th inning really blew this game open, turned a 4-2 game into a 6-2 game. 8-2 right now for the Rockies. Runner on second, no outs. Pitch to Bryant. Inside, and it hit him. Curveball clipped Bryant. He'll walk to first. And there are 2 runners on now with nobody out still.
Well, the biggest thing with Paulo Espino right now is he isn't fooling anybody with that big, slow curveball. He's either not locating it properly or the Rockies are just seeing it out of the hand. It's kind of looping up. And as soon as an offensive player sees that, they know to wait back because they know it's not a fastball, and I think that's what's happening right now.
Blue Jays don't have anyone up right now. Pete Walker is talking with Espino, and Mitch White is starting to get loose. White did pitch in Wednesday's game, although in a limited outing, coming in the 10th inning to record 2 outs. He can also provide some length for the Blue Jays out of the pen. No outs, top of the 6th inning. Runners on first and second. On the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. The Angels have extended their lead over the Red Sox. Not a great night for the AL East, I will say. It's 7-0 Angels over Red Sox in Boston. Elias Diaz, the catcher, ready to go. First and second, no outs. Diaz with 2 hits today. First pitch bounced, 1-0. Angels extending their lead on Taylor Ward's 4th home run of the season. Again, 7-0 for Los Angeles over Boston. Headed to the 7th. Next pitch to Diaz, called strike. 1-1. Elias Diaz signed with the Rockies on a minor league deal in 2020, the 1-1. Popped up, infield fly. Guerrero reaching out his right hand, calls off Biggio, makes the catch. Out was already called. There's 1 down.
Yeah, you could hear Diaz from all the way up here. He was really frustrated with that swing. I'm not sure if he was frustrated with the swing or the fact that he actually swung at that ball. It wasn't a bad pitch. It was a sweeper on the outside part of the plate, but he screamed really, really loud.
And Espino, with all the spin and not that much velocity, probably a frustrating guy at times to hit against. Diaz 0 for 2 against Espino today. Here's Nolan Jones, who homered off of him in the 5th. 2 for 3 today. First pitch, called strike 1. Jones' second rounder by Cleveland in 2016 at a high school in Philadelphia. Waits for the 0-1. Swings and bounces it to second. This should be 2. Chest high hop. Biggio gloves. Throws to Bichette. Back to first. 4-6-3. Inning-ending double play. After the homer, the double, and the hit, batter Espino settles in and limits it to 1 run for the Rockies in the top of the 6th. Middle 6, it's 8-2 for the visitors. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Here's what's happening on SiriusXM Sports.
They've completed round 2 of the Masters, and there's a log jam atop the leaderboard. Scotty Scheffler, Bryson DeChambeau, and Max Homa all tied for the lead at 6 under. Tiger Woods made the cut for a record 24th time. Complete coverage from Augusta. on Masters Radio, SiriusXM 92, and the SiriusXM app.
SiriusXM Sports. Wherever you are, your team plays here.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are on top of the women's college basketball world yet again.
Perfection for South Carolina. 38 games, 38 wins.
We're reacting to the perfect season and talking to the biggest names right here on Channel 374.
Congratulations, Coach Saley. What does this particular title mean to you?
This title is pretty special because it was unexpected.
Keep it locked into SiriusXM SEC Radio as we continue to break it all down and celebrate the Gamecocks' third national title.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
The UFC is on SiriusXM. Hear all the action live from the Octagon every weekend on SiriusXM Fight Nation Channel 156.
This Sunday, April 14th, marks the first Junior Jays of the season, Junior Jays opening day. Bring the whole family to the ballpark for a day packed with excitement. Enjoy games, prizes, artists, and much more. Be sure to stick around for postgame, where kids 14 and under can run the bases. Go to BlueJays.com/Junior Jays and get your tickets today. Bud Black goes to his bullpen. The Rockies bring out right-hander Peter Lambert for his 5th appearance of the year, up 8-2. 7-8-9 for the Blue Jays, starting with Dalton Varsho. Lambert, the righty, curls back and fires. It's called strike one. A fastball at 95. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Varsho, then Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, then Kevin Kiermaier. The 0-1. Bouncing ball to third, a little cue shot. McMahon picks it up, lobs to first. Varsho retired for the first time today. 1 out.
Yeah, that was the first time today where he's really pulled off of a ball. That was a changeup. And he kind of acted like it was a fastball down the middle and tried to hit it hard to right field and just hit a cue shot to the third baseman.
So a good start for Lambert, retiring Varsho. Lambert closing the book today on Ryan Feltner. First pitch here to IKF. Called strike. Feltner went 5 today, scattered 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, struck out 4. The 0-1. IKF with a good swing, sends a looper to center field, hangs up a little bit too much. Hit that ball relatively hard, but a little bit too high. 2 outs.
IKF's been using the big part of the field all season long. He's looked really good early on in this season, and that's no different there. He just puts a good swing on it, hits a line drive to center field, unfortunately right at somebody.
2 quick outs for right-hander Peter Lambert. Fastball, slider, changeup, a little bit of a sweeper for Lambert. His pitch to Kevin Kiermaier. Pounded into the ground, foul down the third baseline. 0-1. 2 outs, bases empty, 8-2 Rockies, bottom 6.
Third baseman Ryan McMahon is playing almost where you would see a shortstop normally. And Kevin Kiermaier was trying to hit that hole with that first swing.
The 0-1. Bounced, 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, Kiermaier lined a ball to left field back in the second inning, his first extra base hit of the year. And then he bunted for a single in the 4th inning down the third baseline. So he's almost exclusively today, or he has exclusively used the opposite way. Still the infield shifts him to pull. The 1-1. Ground ball hooked to first. Picked up by Montero. Calls off his pitcher and beats Kiermaier to the bag. A 1-2-3 inning in relief for Peter Lambert. We'll go to the 7th. It's 8-2 Rockies. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Blue Jays are inviting you to work from Dome. Put it in your calendar. 307 weekdays starts this season. You can work from Dome with friends or coworkers at Rogers Center. It's a game changer. Make the ballpark your office for the afternoon. Work from Dome, 307 weekday starts. Let's touch base. Check out ticket options on BlueJays.com/workfromdome.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
We're two men and a truck. And we've got lots of men and lots of trucks. Whether you're planning a move to a new home or to a new office down the hall, big or small, we move them all. We even sell packing and moving supplies. But no matter what you need, we'll do it with a smile. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. So when you're planning your next move, call Two Men and a Truck.
Two men and a truck, the movers who care.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Bichette powers the ball to left field. Going back, Peralta. It's out of here.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 7th inning, 8-2 lead. Rockies over Blue Jays in game 1 of this 3-game set at Rogers Center. Rockies visiting for the first time since 2013. 4th trip ever for Colorado to this building. Paulo Espino's first pitch is smashed down the line by Reese Montero, who's rolling around first, headed for second. Throw coming in just a little bit late. Montero not the quickest guy. He pounded that ball into the corner down and left, but he had enough speed to make it into second with a leadoff stand-up double, first double of the year for the right-handed hitter.
Well, he was almost thrown out at second base by Dalton Varsho with a nice play in the corner over there. But Paulo Espino, again, just throws that changeup right down the middle, and this Rockies team has been doing that all day, just making Blue Jays pitchers pay for their mistakes.
So runner on second, nobody out. First pitch, called strike against Brendan Rodgers, who's 1 for 2. So the Rockies here in their 4th trip ever, they have not won a game in this ballpark. Looking very close to doing that for the first time. 0-9 all time. 0-1. Bounced, 1 ball, 1 strike. According to Elias Sports Bureau, only 5 teams in the modern era have been winless at a specific ballpark. And 4 of those ballparks, 3 of the other 4 are no longer in operation. 1-1 to Rogers, bounced 2-1. So you have actually the Blue Jays, who went winless at Shea Stadium, although remember, interleague play, much different situation than it used to be. Blue Jays only playing there between 1997 and 2001. This is a minimum of 9 games, by the way, not like you went there for one series. The Montreal Expos at Crossley Field. The Brooklyn Tip-Tops at Federal League Park in 1914. The 2-1 is popped up behind first. Vladdy racing back. This is going to be trouble, and that drops behind him for a base hit. Springer picks it up. Advancing to third, Montero. Rogers is into first with a bloop single. And it's first and third with no outs. And the final one, the only one that was still standing, Mets at Oracle Park started 0-10, but pardon me, that one actually not still active. But the Mets had started 0-10, so the Rockies potentially could have reached the 0-10 mark that the Mets started at, but doesn't look like it. They're 0-9, but they're up 8-2 on the Blue Jays. Runners on the corners, nobody out, top of the 7th.
What was the second team you said? The Brooklyn Tip-Tops?
The Brooklyn Tip-Tops.
Against who?
At Crossley Field.
No, who are they playing?
Well, give me a second. 1914. First pitch is taken for a ball to Michael Tolia, 1-0. That would have been where Cincinnati was playing. They might have been the Redlegs, or they were the Reds at that point. Next pitch, called strike, 1-1.
Well, that is just good, clean fun.
Brooklyn Tip-Tops and Cincinnati Reds at Crosby Field.
I said Cincinnati Red Legs. That would have been more fun, but
there's a chance. I'm going to look into it. First and third, though, nobody out. Top of the 7th. 1-1 to Tolia. He's bounced up the middle. Bichette gloves it. Throw home. It's a tag play and stunner stepping. They have Montero in a rundown between third and home. Kirk flips over to IKF, and they tag out Montero for the second time tonight in the 90 feet between third and home. So a nice play there by Bichette. 6-2-5 on the putout. Fielder's choice ground out there for Tolia, who remains at first. Rogers up to second, 1 down.
Well, the first time Montero got thrown out trying to score, he didn't really put up much of a fight. At least he got into a little bit of a run down there and made the Toronto Blue Jays defense work for it. But a nice play from Bo Bichette coming home and stopping them from scoring another run here.
Brenton Doyle about to hit. First and second, 1 out. 8-2 Rockies on the edge of the 7th inning stretch. Espino in his 4th inning rocks back and delivers. Breaking ball. Inside ball 1. We'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. The Tip-Top's not playing tonight.
Did you find out if it was the Cincinnati Red Legs or just the Cincinnati Reds?
I'll get to that. Let me do it. And then we'll get you the actual out-of-town scores.
These are things that I would imagine you would just know.
1-0 is called strike 1-1. I'm not a computer.
You're disappointing me. You're disappointing me, Ben.
I probably don't do enough stuff in my free time, but I'm not a computer. It was just the Reds. They were only the Red Legs from 53 to 58. 2-0. Sharp ground ball. Fair ball past the dive of IKF at third, rolling into the corner. Rogers around third. He'll score. Tolia gets the stop sign. RBI double Brenton Doyle. 9-2. The Rockies lead over the Blue Jays.
And again, a mistake from Espino. A sweeper that was right down the middle, and Doyle just drills it into the corner past the dive of IKF.
And we'll have to wait on that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard because John Schneider is coming out to make a pitching change. Paulo Espino records 1 out here in the 7th inning. Began his appearance in the 4th, but has given up 3 runs for the Blue Jays with still 2 guys on base. 9-2 lead, top of the 7th. Colorado over Toronto with a pitching change. Let's go back to baseball control. Here's Show Ali.
Thank you very much, guys. Before we check out that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, one more reminder that Blair and Barker have J-Stock tonight. They will take your phone calls after the final out. Blair will throw out the numbers to call after this one is in the books. He is down at the Dome this evening. All right, on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, 2 Canadian teams in action tonight in the NHL, the Oilers and the Flames. Edmonton taking on Arizona tonight at Rogers Place. Tip-off or puck drop of that game just happening moments ago. 0s right now in the first period. You can watch that one on Sportsnet West. Speaking of the Arizona Coyotes, Sportsnet's own Elliot Friedman tweeting this out about the Coyotes Utah saga. So I'm going to read you Elliot's tweet. There is word tonight the Coyotes players were informed in a meeting they are going to Utah. Players and staff may be headed to Salt Lake City right after Wednesday's game to check out the facilities and the city. So the Arizona Coyotes kind of sounds like it might be a done deal to head to Salt Lake City. Later tonight on Sportsnet 1, the Flames take on the Ducks. That game goes at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. You can listen to it on Sportsnet 960 The Fan in Calgary as well. Flames talk will follow after the final horn. In Major League Baseball, let's check out those games across the American League East. The Rays still lead the Giants 2-1. Yandy Diaz, the bases loaded walk. Amed Rosario with the RBI triple. Brewers at Orioles, top 7. Milwaukee up 10-1. Willie Adames with a 3-run bomb. William Contreras with a 2-run shot. And Gary Sanchez with a 2-run bomb early on as well. And at Fenway, LA up 7-0 on the Red Sox. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Back to the Rogers Center. Yenesis Cabrera on the mound now. Here's Ben and Chris.
Thank you very much. Show the left-hander for the Blue Jays. Yenesis Cabrera is just finishing up his warm-up pitches here. He'll come into this game with the Blue Jays trailing 9-2 to the Colorado Rockies. Runners on second and third after Brenton Doyle's RBI double. And Ezekiel Tovar, the top of the order hitter, coming up for Colorado. Tough start to the year so far for Cabrera. Second year with the Blue Jays. Left-hander out of the Dominican, acquired last year at the deadline. He's made 4 appearances, allowed 6 earned runs in 4 innings of work. Infield on the edge of the infield turf. First pitch to Tovar, down and in, ball 1. Cabrera's got kind of a cutter slider, a sinker, a curveball, and a four-seamer. 1-0. Golf to left field. Very high, not very deep. Varsho sprinting toward the corner. Makes the catch. Tagging from third is Tolia. Coming to the plate. The throw goes through. Not in time. They had a shot at him there. Kirk made the pick and tagged. But Tolia coming in on the sacrifice fly. We'll see if the Blue Jays want to take a look.
That was actually an incredible throw. A one-hop throw from Dalton Varsho deep in that corner in left field. And a pretty good pick from Alejandro Kirk as well to try to get Tolia.
Blue Jays say play on, though.
And Dalton Varsho is just, you can see the disappointment on his face. That was incredible from that left field corner. What a throw.
It was close. I think Tolia just beat it. So it's 10-2 for the Rockies. Ryan McMahon up, runner on second, 2 outs. The pitch. High and inside, ball 1. That run owed to Paulo Espino, so he's now allowed 4 and 2 2/3. And he's still responsible for Doyle on second. Big day for McMahon, 3 for 4. His average has jumped over 400. Left on left, 1-0. Fouled back.
Well, this is a tough AB for McMahon. Genesis Cabrera, very tough lefty, especially against lefties. He's got that hard fastball, the hard slider. Although the command with his pitches hasn't really been there this year. That's probably why he hasn't had the success that he had with the Jays last year.
He delivers the 1-1. It's fouled off 1 and 2. It was such a transformation last year for Cabrera, who walked 18 and 32 innings with St. Louis before being traded to the Blue Jays, where he walked 6 in 23 and 2/3, and half of those walks were intentional. So he really walked 3.
And this year, small sample size, 4 innings, 2 walks.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. McMahon strikes out, but 2 runs come in on 3 hits for the Rockies. They lead 10-2 at the 7th inning stretch. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Everyone dreams of owning their own personal slice of heaven. Now you can, thanks to Fixed Rate Pizza by Pizza Pizza. Until the end of 2024, lock into an extra-large 4-topping pizza at a fixed price of $17.99. No matter how bad food prices get this year, your pizza price stays. So why not say no to surge pricing and yes to Fixed Rate Pizza? Order now from Pizza Pizza.
Order pizzapizza.ca.
I am by your side. Got a heart so big, on this you can rely. No mountains too tall for the strong boots to climb. I am by your side.
That was Desjardins Insurance, playing insurance with a heart so big it shows. Tune in for your auto and home coverage at desjardins.com/heart.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer today, Andrew Adams and Tom Young, our technical directors. 10-2 Rockies, bottom 7. Peter Lambert, the reliever, in his second inning of work, pitches to George Springer, who shoots the ball to right field for a base hit. First pitch swinging. Springer has his first hit in 4 tries today, and the Blue Jays will look to mount a big rally here. Down 10-2, bottom of the 7th. Defensive change, by the way. Jake Cave has come in for Michael Tolia, who slid into the plate on a sacrifice fly in the top of the 7th. Hope everything's okay with him. Cave now in right field. Here comes Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Well, that's a good sign for George Springer, going with that pitch and using using the right side of this field, hitting a hard line drive to right field. When he's going right, he's using the whole field.
Vlad 0 for 2 with a walk, runner on first, the pitch. Downstairs, ball 1. Bit of a buzz here. Blue Jays looking for some momentum. Driven by Vlad. The 1-0 is hit hard to the left side. Speared by the third baseman McMahon. Flips to second. 1 over to first. 5-4-3. Double play. Make sure to head to the ballpark early on Monday, April 29th, as we're giving away an exclusive 2-for-1 giveaway. The Jano Bundle, featuring a Danny Jansen New Blue replica jersey and a pair of replica glasses. Don't miss the opportunity. Visit BlueJays.com/promotions to get your ticket today. 2 out, space is empty. 10-2 Rockies, bottom 7. You're staring very fondly at your Jose Barrios Gold Glove bobblehead. Here's the pitch to Bo Bichette, who hits a soft ground ball to second, right at Brendan Rodgers. He'll throw over to first. That's the inning. The leadoff single erased very quickly, and we'll head to the 8th with the Blue Jays down 10-2 to the Rockies in this series opener. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
2:30 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 400
from Texas Motor Speedway on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yes!
We're talking college basketball on ACC Today.
Great run for NC State men's basketball. The story of this team is one I don't think anybody will forget.
They were able to accomplish a lot. They captured the hearts and the minds of the nation. DJ Burns became an absolute star nationally. I love it.
ACC Today, weekdays from 8 to 11 a.m. Eastern. ACC Radio, Channel 371, and the SiriusXM app.
The Masters is on SiriusXM.
Has pace, working up to the hole, needs the turn. It turned all right. It turned right into the cup for John Rahm. That's a birdie.
Hi, this is Mike Tirico. Hear every incredible shot and all the dramatic moments as the best golfers in the world vie for the coveted green jacket.
Everyone at Amen Corner stands and appreciates the great Tiger Woods.
Hear the Masters exclusively on SiriusXM, on Masters Radio Channel 92 in the car, and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
Net Radio Network.
New pitcher for the Blue Jays, top of the 8th inning. The right-hander Mitch White is on the mound. Blue Jays down 10-2 to the Colorado Rockies at home. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Leading off for the Rockies, Chris Bryant. Bryant 1 for 3 today. 2-run double in the 4th, hit by a pitch in the 6th. Pitch for Mitch White. Smoked over the head of the leaping Bichette at third into left field. 2-hit day for Bryant, who leads off the 8th with a single.
Yeah, we talked about that before the game started. Just because he's hitting, I believe it was 100 before this game started. Yep. He's still Chris Bryant. He can still hit the ball hard, and he has today a couple times.
Second overall pick in 2013. Former MVP and National League Rookie of the Year, and he's boosted his average a fair bit today up to 136 from 100. Here's Elias Diaz, off to a really good start this year, and today 2 for 4. First pitch. Outside, ball 1. Up to the 29,000 on hand, still sticking around. Blue Jays down 10-2, runner on first. No hold on Bryant at first base. 1-0. Swing and a miss.
There were a ton of people here early, lined up at the gates, obviously for the Barrios bobblehead.
Got the Barrios bobblehead, got some of the general admission seating as well. If you're at Park Social or
Corona rooftop patio. The 1-1 fouled off 1 and 2. Or hey, maybe even the Canada Dry bleachers, which are the place to be this season, located just above the visitors' bullpen. There's no better place to show your passion and support for the hometown Blue Jays. Be sure you come early to grab a seat. Head to bluejays.com/outfield district to get yours today for just $20. Chris, what was it like when you were a reliever and opposing fans were showing their passion to you as you were trying to warm up? First the 1-2 to Diaz. Bounce foul. Did it affect your warm-up when they were so passionate?
So my favorite place to warm up was Philadelphia.
And a passionate bunch.
Yeah, understatement of the century right there. I believe the bullpens are staggered so that one is above the other, the visiting and the home. And the home used to be above the visitors, and they had to switch it because they were bugging
chirping
the
their
home. Yeah,
own,
they were chirping.
Yeah, could see that. The 1-2. Breaking ball grounded foul. And so were you there? I mean, I can't imagine they were any nicer either way, but were you there more often with the Marlins, I guess, than you would have been with the Pirates?
Yeah, so I was there a lot with the Marlins, and then when I was with the Pirates, we would always have a Pennsylvania series or whatever. Yeah.
The 1-2. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
But another cool place to play that fans were relatively
passionate
at was when Wrigley had the on-field bullpens.
Yeah.
They don't have that anymore, but they used to have the cool on-field bullpens that were super close to the field.
2-2. High, ball 3. Full count to Diaz. Runner on first, no outs. 10-2 Rockies, top of the 8th.
The first base coach actually stood about 15 feet from where the plate was along the lines. That's actually pretty scary for him. He might get hit by an errant throw.
Yeah, you need kind of a guy defending both the bullpen and the first base coach. 3-2 pitch, yanked outside, ball 4. Walk here to Diaz, first and second, no outs for the Rockies, who lead 10-2, top of the 8th. It is so much cooler, I think, on both sides here at Rogers Center. This was part of last year's renovations, not this year. That the bullpens are elevated, that fans can be passionate or talk to Blue Jays relievers over in left field, the opposing relievers in right field. First pitch to Nolan Jones. Left-handed hitter takes strike 1 from Mitch White.
Did you know that in Miami there's a club right next to the left field bullpen? An actual club.
I mean, that's so Miami. I've been there once, but I was not legal to go in the club. The 0-1. Breaking ball called outside, 1-1. A set from the right-hander White. Looks out at second at Bryant. The pitch. Hit foul down the left field line, slicing into the seats. 1-2.
Have you been up to the Corona rooftop or the TD Park Social yet?
Yes. Yeah.
As a fan or?
One time as a fan. Just took a walk around there. Pretty cool. Live music around there sometimes too. White's going to step off the rubber. His first disengagement used the plate appearance. 1-2 count, 2 on. It's Bryant on second, Diaz on first. Nobody out, top of the 8th. And the pitch. Found back into the netting.
I have to say, if you have a child, it's probably not the place to be.
Well, Park Social, yes. Corona rooftop patio, no.
I've been there. I've been to both of them, and they're both relatively wild.
But there's like PlayStations at Park Social.
I've seen lots of adults play those.
Got cornhole over there. 1-2 pitch. Outside 2-2. Well, it was interesting. At spring training, we got to sit down, not just us, a handful of the media members with Blue Jays president Mark Shapiro. And he did say, these are the biggest renovations that they're going to do, the 2 that they did in Phase 1 and Phase 2 these past 2 years. 2-2 pitch. Fly ball to left. Varsho angling toward the corner, makes the catch in front of the track, 1 out. Still runners on first and second, 10-2 Rockies, top of the 8th. The two things that were brought up were dedicated kids area and some sort of historically significant thing around the ballpark. Might not be in one area, might not be a Hall of Fame. They weren't very committal on what it would be, but something to recognize now the pretty long history of the Toronto Blue Jays, which dates back to 1977.
So TD Park Social is not the dedicated kids area?
I think it's like kind of, but not fully. First pitch swinging, Montero bounces the ball to short, deep in the hole, Bichette over to second for 1, back to first, 6-4-3, double play. Mitch White disposes of a pair there with a ground ball after a base hit and a walk to start the inning. No runs for the Rockies for the first time since the first. It's 10-2 Colorado. We're headed to the bottom of the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays, and with all kinds of cool new games and activities in the exciting outfield district areas, there's no end to the family fun you'll have.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
I am by your side. Got a heart so big, on this you can rely. No mountains too tall for the strong boots to climb. I am by your side.
That was Desjardins Insurance, playing insurance with a heart so big it shows. Tune in for your auto and home coverage at desjardins.com/heart.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He rocks the ball to left field. The Blue Jays have gone back-to-back-to-back.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by Authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. 10-2 Rockies, bottom of the 8th inning. A pinch hitter for the Blue Jays with Toronto down by a touchdown and the 2-point conversion. They'll give Justin Turner a little bit of rest after a single and a walk in 3 plate appearances today. Daniel Vogelback's going to come off the bench and hit for Turner. Peter Lambert, the long reliever, still on the mound for the Rockies. This is his 3rd inning of work. He's retired 5 of the 6 he's faced, and faced the minimum considering he turned a double play last inning after a Springer single. The pitch to Vogelback. Outside ball 1. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left, Chris LaRue. 3-10 Rockies dominating here in the series opener. The 1-0. Outside ball 2.
I had a lot of people ask me the last couple of days if the Blue Jays should sweep this series, and I think my answer every single time was they should sweep the series, but you never know with baseball, and this kind of just proves that point that you really never know, that a team could come out and just rake just like the Rockies have.
2-0 is downstairs, 3-0.
They have 17 hits tonight.
Yeah. They jumped all over Gausman. And really, that was kind of it when they were up 6-2, but they jumped all over Paulo Espino after that. 3-0 to Vogie. Right down the middle, strike 1. This could be a pretty big day, though, for the Rockies. They're the only team in the majors who haven't had a starting pitcher record a pitcher win so far this year. 3-1. High ball 4. Vogelbach takes a leadoff walk. Not that people tend to focus on pitcher wins a ton at this point, but it's just incredibly improbable that you'd go 13 games without a starter registering a win. But Ryan Feltner, who went 5 and gave up 2 runs, is in line for the win right now unless the Blue Jays mount an 8-run comeback. Runner on first. Nobody out. Kevin Biggio's 2 for 3 today. His pitch, or the pitch from Lambert, is swung on and missed, strike 1. It's been a nice start to the year for Biggio. 324 now after the 2 hits. 0-1. Hit foul, 0-2.
Have you ever noticed that Vogelbach takes walks like it's the 7th game of the World Series every time?
Likes it.
Every time he takes a walk, it's just like it's the biggest situation.
Although, granted for him, he's got only so much time that he's going out there and showcasing himself, trying to get more playing time. Step off the rubber by the right-hander Lambert. He actually did come up with a big walk on Wednesday, came in to pinch hit, and walked in the place of Kevin Kiermaier to load the bases for the Blue Jays. But they would not score in the 9th and lost in extras. 0-2 to Biggio is low. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And that was a big walk.
This one was not.
This one was not.
This one was not. Vogelbach with a large lead off first. Nobody holding him on. Montero plays way back in the bag with the Rockies up 8. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Biggio out in front of the changeup by Lambert. He goes down for the first out of the inning.
Tough pitch from Lambert. Good changeup down in the zone. Biggio obviously looking for something hard, and Lambert just flipped that changeup in there. Good sequence.
Lambert is second rounder by the Rockies out of high school in California. Debuted in 2019. Was a starter at that point. Pitch to Alejandro Kirk is high ball 1. Lambert, a guy who got Tommy John in July of 2020, did not turn until September 2021, and then even had some struggles pitching in 2022, only pitched 7 times due to injuries. Called strike against Kirk, who kind of just drops the bat in surprise there. That one was well above the zone. It's 1-1.
Yeah, he showed his frustration a lot today, and that's something he doesn't normally do.
1-1. Check swing, called strike. 1-2. The wave has started, by the way. I think this is the first Rogers Center wave, unless I wasn't paying attention last series and missed one.
I haven't seen one yet. It's Friday.
It is Friday. Runner on first, 1 out. Pitch to Kirk. Downstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. For Kirk today, his 12th start in 14 games. Started all 3 games against Seattle, including the day game after a night game on Wednesday. Did get the day off yesterday, of course. Back in there today.
Ben, everybody got the day off yesterday.
It's true. Not the grounds crew. 2-2. Called strike 3. Kirk set down looking on a fastball on the outside edge, and he slowly walks back to the dugout. 2 down.
Yeah, flips his bat, kind of saunters back. I don't know if he's frustrated at the call or the fact that he should have swung at that, at least try to fight. Either way, that was a strike, and it was a tough pitch.
Well, although the Blue Jays are down 10-2 with 2 outs and a runner on first, bottom 8, some solid individual performances today, including Dalton Varsho, who swings and misses at the first pitch, but is 2 for 3 today with a home run and then an infield single, a ground ball to the right side that was kept in the infield by a dive from Ella Reese Montero. The 0-1. Bounce to the plate. Bounces off the catcher Diaz and goes off to his right. Vogelbach staying put at first, 1-1.
Varsho also just threw an absolute missile from the corner in left field to almost get Tolley at home plate. That was probably my favorite part of the day.
Varsho, who entered today hitting 158, could jump above 200 with a single here. The 1-1. Lofted foul over the netting, off to the left. And clanks off some hands, a little bit of a mosh pit, and it's grabbed there by a fan in a gray jersey, backwards blue hat. 1-2. Lead off first for Vogelback. Right on left pitch from Peter Lambert. Swing and a miss, strike 3. After the leadoff walk, a trio of strikeouts sets down the Blue Jays and sends us to the 9th. 10-2 for the Rockies at Rogers Center. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The 2024 election on SiriusXM.
To fight for our democracy. That's been the work of my first term.
Thrilled to be back with thousands of proud American patriots.
Where every voice matters.
I'm as far left as you can get.
This president has not complied with his oath.
Left, right, center, decided, or undecided.
We have to use our voices. We have to stand up for what we believe.
The only place for every perspective and your voice about your vote on SiriusXM.
Get ready for the 2024 NFL Draft on SiriusXM NFL Radio.
Touchdown, Caleb Williams.
Catch exclusive interviews with the top prospects as they begin their journey to the NFL. And hear pick-by-pick coverage of the 2024 Draft from Detroit.
With the first pick, the Chicago Bears select.
Your home for the 2024 NFL Draft is SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball. You love yelling at your buddies about baseball because they love baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, and much, much, much more. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
In season or out of season, the number one place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. Top of the 9th inning. Rockies leading the Blue Jays 10-2. A run from the 2nd to the 7th in every inning for the Rockies. Blue Jays making some substitutions here. They'll get George Springer an extra inning of rest. He's out of the game. Kevin Biggio moves to right field. Davis Schneider takes over at second and will likely hit in the spot of Springer. Also, Brian Servant coming in behind the plate, and Ernie Clement at short. Alejandro Kirk and Bo Bichette have been taken out. Leading off, Brendan Rodgers faces a pitch from Mitch White and hits a high fly ball to left center. Kiermaier sprinting back at the track, leaps at the wall. It's off the wall. Varsho chasing after it. Rodgers digging around second for third. He's in there. Stand-up triple to start the 9th. Kiermaier still on the seat of his pants on the track.
I think Kevin Kiermaier is just sitting down either because he's tired or he's just upset that he didn't catch that ball. He covered a ton of ground getting to that baseball, and he kind of just misjudged the jump. Jumped a little bit early and wasn't able to snag that baseball, but what an attempt from Kevin Kiermaier.
He almost jumped too high, it looked like, on that one. It's now the third baseman IKF playing even with the line. Rest of the infield about halfway in. And Michael Toglia is up 0 for 4 today. First pitch, outside, ball 1. On a day where the Rockies have 18 hits, Toglia is the lone Rocky starter without a hit today. Everyone else has multiple hits. 1-0 is high.
And I was just watching the replay of Kiermaier. The ball actually hit off the heel of his glove. It looked like he had a beat on it. So now I know why he was sitting on that ground. He was just upset he didn't catch that baseball.
Pardon me, it's Jake Cave hitting in Toglia's spot. Toglia was taken out of the game last inning.
I was about to say I don't remember Toglia having a gray beard.
Yeah.
or a gray beard.
That's how long this rally has gone on for the Rockies today. Up 10-2, runner on third, top of the ninth, nobody out. And the pitch. Called strike 2-2. Cave played in the spring this year with Philadelphia, was a Philly last year, had played for the Twins for the majority of his career, traded just a couple days before the season for cash considerations, was going to be the odd man out for the Phillies in the outfield. 2-2. Line shot into the screen, behind the plate and off to the left.
And we're seeing some increased velocity from Mitch White. The first few games of this season, he's been about 92, 94, but I'm seeing some 96s and 97s from him tonight. That's a good sign.
That was the 97 from White. That was the talk of spring, that his velocity was up on the fastball. 2-2. Off the handle, a looper foul over the netting. And it bangs off a railing and pinballs over a couple sections where a fan picks it up on the hop. Still nobody out, still a runner on third, still 10-2 Rockies, top of the ninth. The 2-2 pitch. Fouled off of the left hip by Cave, hit it into the ground and then off of his hip. He'll take a walk outside the dirt circle. Brian Servin, the former Rocky, will go pick up the ball and toss it away. Cave, the hitter, with a brown beard that turns gray and white at the bottom. Ready to go, the 2-2. Smoke to center. Kiermaier on the run again. Gets behind this one in left center field. Curls and makes the catch. Tagging from third, Rogers. Long throw by Kiermaier is late. And that's a sacrifice fly to make it 11-2.
Kiermaier showing off that good arm there. I thought he would just lob it back into second, but that's an opportunity right there to get some oohs and some ahs from the crowd, as Kiermaier really had no shot at home plate, but he just aired that thing out, threw it all the way to home plate.
We haven't seen it factor in a ton today, but this is the matchup of the two Gold Glove center fielders from last year. Brenton Doyle hitting now. Hits it to center field. Kiermaier has to pull up and leap to take it on the high hop. Doyle, the Gold Glover in the National League in center field last year, will head back to the back with his third hit of the day. And Doyle, who won the Gold Glove in his rookie year, according to Jack Corrigan, the great play-by-play on the radio for the Rockies for over 20 seasons, he told me that the way Doyle plays reminds him a lot of watching Kevin Kiermaier and the athleticism that he displays in the outfield. Kiermaier, a four-time Gold Glover and Platinum Glover. One run in the top of the ninth, 11-2 Rockies. Runner on first, one out. Ezekiel Tovar, who was a Gold Glove finalist in his rookie year at short, is hitting right now for the Rockies. First pitch from Mitch White. Swing and a miss behind 95 at the top of the zone. Strike one. They've got some good young position players here for the Rockies. Pitching has been more of a struggle for them recently. 0-1. Fouled off the screen and into the first base dugout to make it 0-2.
Yeah, Tovar just 22 years old, and he's having a great start to this season.
They inked him to a long-term contract before the year. 0-2. Hit foul again to the right side. Got Nolan Jones, 25 years old. Michael Toglia, 25. Brenton Doyle, 25. Now, those three guys will all turn 26 this season, but that's still relatively young. Alaris Montero, 25. 0-2. Smoked foul to the right side. This one hit way higher and further than before. Still no balls, two strikes.
They've got Chris Bryant
a little
locked
bit
up
older
for
than
another
25.
5 years.
Yeah. 32 is Bryant. Two-strike pitch again. Foul back this time. Tovar fighting here. 3 straight, make it 4 straight foul balls, actually, after getting the first strike put on him.
Yeah, that was actually a really tough pitch from Mitch White. Tovar doing a great job just fouling that pitch off.
Seventh pitch of the plate appearance coming right now. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Changed speeds on him, way in front of that 82-mile-per-hour curveball. Second out of the inning on the strikeout.
Yeah, that's a really, really tough curveball. 82, down in the zone. When Mitch White is throwing 96, 97 elevated at the top of that strike zone, and then he just flips that one in there, it's almost unhittable.
So 2 down, here's Ryan McMahon. First pitch, taken for a strike by the lefty swinger, 0-1. 2 outs, a runner on first, 11-2 for the Rockies over the Blue Jays. Top of the 9th, Rockies searching for their 4th win of the season. White reaches back and fires. Missed high. Servin had to reach above his head for that 95-mile-per-hour heater.
I wonder if the Jays will come to the park with a different mindset tomorrow.
Or are you saying that facetiously or literally?
I mean, it's almost like they came to the park thinking they were just going to roll over this team.
Check swing on a pitch in the dirt. He did go around. It's 1-2. Blue Jays jumped out to a 1-0 lead, then a 2-1 lead. Didn't really pitch or hit amazingly today. That's evident in the 11-2 scoreline. 19 hits for the Rockies, 9 for the Blue Jays. The 1-2. High and inside, 2-2. I will say I just don't know if they ever had much of a chance with the way they pitched today. Not that they came out and hit it around and really left us with no doubt that they wouldn't have had a chance. The 2-2. Just outside, ball 3. Be interesting to see who starts tomorrow, too. Don't have a firm declaration on that as far as I'm aware.
I think you know who's starting tomorrow. I'm not saying it, but I think you know who's starting tomorrow.
I got nothing to say. Runner's going to take off here on the 3-2 with 2 outs if he wants. He will. 3-2 pitch, stroke to left field. Varsho sprinting toward the line. And that's a fair ball down in the corner. Getting the wave around third. Here comes Doyle to the plate. RBI double. Ryan McMahon. They put up a dozen. 12-2 for the Rockies in Toronto in the top of the 9th.
And Ryan McMahon is something else. He's such a solid player. So fun to watch.
Third double of the game for McMahon, who's 4 for 6.
He does such a good job going the other way, hitting that ball right down the line. Another run-scoring double.
Pitch to Chris Bryant behind the fastball. 0-1. 2 outs and a runner on second. 12-2 Rockies, top of the 9th. Multiple runs in the 3rd, 4th, 7th, and 9th. Single run scored in the 2nd, 5th, and 6th by the Rockies. Blue Jays haven't scored since the 2nd. Bryant takes strike 2. Rockies on their way to their first win ever north of the border in their 10th try. 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Breaking ball beats Bryant, but the Rockies add on 2 more runs. 12-2 headed to the bottom of the 9th inning in Toronto. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikey's accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
In time! What a play, Bo Bichette!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Ali with you at Baseball Control in our downtown Toronto studios. Jays trail the Rockies 12-2 as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning at the Rogers Center. A reminder that Blair and Barker have Jays Talk tonight. They will take your phone calls after the final out of this one. Blair is down at the Rogers Center. He will throw out the numbers to call after this one is in the books. Blue Jays Baseball brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Jays trail the Rockies 12-2 in the bottom of the 9th inning. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue at the Dome with the call of the game.
Thank you very much, Joe. Tyler Kinley, the third pitcher today for the Rockies, will take over here in the 9th inning with the Rockies up by a score of 12-2. They have just poured on and poured on and poured on offense during this game. 20 hits for the Rockies, and that gives them the opportunity to work with some of their guys who haven't gotten off to the greatest starts out of the pen this year, like Kinley, who sports a 10.80 ERA in the previous 6 appearances. First hitter to see Kinley is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, hitless today in 3 tries. First pitch from the right-hander is down low, ball 1. Kinley stretches out his right arm, now tucks in a set, and the 1-0. Down and in, 2 balls and no strikes. Pretty much just slider and 4-seamer for Kinley. Might see the occasional change. Righty's 2-0. Swinging a high drive to left center field. Jones going back. He's at the track. That ball is gone. First Blue Jays home run for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. And the Blue Jays are on the board for the first time since the second. It's 12-3 on the IKF solo shot.
IKF is seeing the ball really, really well right now. And every once in a while, he'll get a middle fastball, and he will do that. He squares that ball up and crushes it. I'm not sure how far, but he crushed it to left field.
399 feet for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, 105 off the bat, 12-3. Kevin Kiermaier's up. The pitch is a swinging bunt up the first baseline. Fielded by the pitcher. Kinley flips to first. 1 out.
It might not have been 450, but it was a pretty homer.
Yeah, it was well struck. I mean, 400's nothing to scoff at. Here comes Davis Schneider, entered defensively for the Blue Jays in the top of the 9th inning. He'll bat in the place of George Springer, whose day ends at 1 for 4. And the fans showing their appreciation for the very popular Schneider, who comes up with 1 out and the bases empty, bottom of the 9th. 12-3 Rockies. Kinley, the righty, rocks back and fires. Schneider takes. It's called a ball. Wow, that was a strike. 1-0. Kinley, a 16th rounder by the Marlins in 2013 at a Barry University, a D2 school in Florida. 1-0. Called strike 1. Kinley, a big part of the Rockies bullpen in 2021. He had 70 appearances that year. 1-1 is low, 2-1. For 70 and a third innings pitched. But a flexor tear in his right elbow in June of the next season cost him the rest of that year and most of 2023. The 2-1. Called strike. 2-2. Schneider at bat with Guerrero on deck. 12-3 Rockies, 1 out. Bases empty. The 2-2. Schneider reaches out and lofts the ball to shallow right. Running out Montero, the first baseman. That's going to drop in between him and the right fielder cave. Schneider never stopped running. He's in the second with an excuse me double. It's just like everything this guy touches turns to gold right now at the plate. Bloops the ball into shallow right field, and he's standing on second base.
And if you look at the box score tomorrow morning, you'll see a ball that was absolutely smashed in the gap somewhere.
Yeah. Buried in the corner down the line. But credit to Schneider, I will say, for running that out. A lot of guys might jog that out, especially in this game. And he gets the double instead of a single in his book because he sprinted the whole way. So he's on second. Here's Guerrero. 12-3 Rockies, 1 out, bottom 9. The pitch. Vladdy takes low, 1-0.
You know what? That is something that I really appreciate about Davis Schneider. Yes, everything he touches turns to gold, but he does everything right. All the intangibles, hustling, everything else. Mustache. Is that intangible?
I think it's tangible. We can see it. It's good. 1-0 to Guerrero. Checks his swing. Pitch was low. Oh, no. They called him for the swing. Pardon me. 1-1.
Would you rather have Davis Schneider's mustache or Charlie Blackmon's beard? Both iconic.
Both really good. I'm going to go Schneider mustache, but it's close. 1-1. Bounced. And Schneider takes off. Throw down to third by Diaz. Skips away from third. Schneider gets up. He'll come to the plate. And the Blue Jays are on the board again. While nobody was paying attention in this 12-3 game, Schneider took an extra 90 feet on the ball off the backhand of Diaz, and when Diaz tossed it down the line, he took 90 more, 12-4.
And that's one of the most impressive things I've seen in the last at least week. Davis Schneider playing this ball game like it's 2-1, and he scores on an error from the catcher. Did you hear the crowd?
Oh, they were loving it. 2 runs in this inning for the Blue Jays. They still trail by 8. 1 out, base is empty. 2-1 to Guerrero. Foul tipped into the glove. Strike 2. Ernie Clements on deck for the Blue Jays. Came in defensively in the top of the 9th for Bo Bichette at short. It's Schneider fighting for more playing time. The 2-2. Guerrero reaches out and fouls it back.
And Schneider was moving, too. He's got a little bit of speed.
He's got some speed on him. He's not the slowest guy on the team for sure.
Well, we know who the slowest guy is.
Do we?
Daniel Vogelbach. Or maybe Justin Turner. Who else?
Or the starting
coach. Oh, Alejandro Kirk. Three good options.
2-2. Hit foul.
Well, Danny Jansen's pretty slow too, isn't he? Not that slow, yeah. You're right. I take that back.
Schneider doesn't have a sprint speed rating, Davis, for this year. He did for last year. 2-2 to Guerrero. Low and outside, 3-2. And Davis Schneider last year was 52nd percentile sprint speed, so just above average. Oh, you'll take that. Vladdy's worked a 3-2 count, 0 for 3 today with a walk. Payoff pitch. High chopper sent to third. Backing up the third baseman McMahon. Throws from the outfield turf and retires Guerrero. Blue Jays down to their final out. Here comes Ernie Clement. 12-4 for the Rockies with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Clement steps into the righty batter's box. And here's the first pitch from Tyler Kinley. Swung on and sent to center field. That should do it. Doyle jogs in front of the track, makes the catch, and ends this ball game. 12-4, a dominating win for the Rockies in their first ever win in Toronto. Their 10th try. The Rockies pick up a win north of the U.S. border and take a 1-0 lead in this series. Looked like the Blue Jays were off to a good start, Chris, up 1-0 after 1 and 2-1 after 2, and pretty much immediately after that, things skewed completely the other direction for Colorado.
Yeah, the Rockies just hit every mistake, whether it was Kevin Gausman or Esposito or even Mitch White. I think they just saw the ball really well tonight. They hit a ton of balls hard. Yes, they had some broken bat base hits, but every mistake the Blue Jays made, the Rockies offense just made them pay for it. And it was, if you're a Rockies fan, this was a great game to watch.
Blue Jays fall to 6-8 after the 12-4 loss to the Rockies. Rockies improve to 4-10. First starting pitcher win for the Rockies also this year will go to Ryan Feltner. We're going to wrap this one up on the other side before sending you to Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker, so don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Everyone dreams of owning their own personal slice of heaven. Now you can, thanks to Fixed Rate Pizza by Pizza Pizza. Until the end of 2024, lock into an extra large 4-topping pizza at a fixed price of $17.99. No matter how bad food prices get this year, your pizza price stays. So why not say no to surge pricing and yes to Fixed Rate Pizza? Order now from Pizza Pizza.
Go to pizzapizza.ca.
When you have an iconic look like Danny Jansen, picking new glasses can be tough.
Too big, too small, too cool, too much, too 90s, too futuristic. I think I'm just going to stick with the originals. These are working just fine.
He is really seeing the ball well. Your friends will do a double take when they see you in your Danny Jansen new blue replica jersey and glasses.
And he's got some style.
On Monday, April 29th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a Jano bundle. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Strike three. Kevin Gausman strikes out this side.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Blue Jays fall to the Rockies in the series opener, 12-4. Colorado defeats Toronto, an offensive onslaught from the Rockies, and they take game one of the series. Appreciate you hanging around. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left is Chris LaRue. We'll wrap this one up. Send you over to Jays Talk. I can imagine there's a lot you might want to discuss with Blair and Barker coming up. But first, let's look back at this one, Chris. Ryan Feltner on the mound against Kevin Gausman, and they kind of had reverse stories there. Gausman started off looking real strong, 1-2-3 first inning, pitched around some trouble, did allow a run in the second, but struck out a pair that inning. Early on, things were looking pretty good after his start in New York where Gausman's velocity was down. The velocity, the movement was back up, even if there were some hard-hit balls. But then it really flipped on Gausman in the third inning.
Yeah, I think the positive takeaway that I'm gonna look at is the fact that Gausman's velocity was where it needs to be. He's obviously healthy. He made some good pitches early on, but when he did make a mistake, when he floated a breaking ball in there, when he floated a split finger in there, like I said 1,000 times tonight, the Colorado Rockies offense was seeing the ball really, really well. It was basically a beach ball coming in there. They were hitting most everything hard, and sometimes you just tip your cap and you move on to the next day, and I think that's what the Blue Jays need to do. They just need to go to bed, forget about this one. I know it's going to be hard for Kevin Gausman to forget about, but I know that they'll come back tomorrow. They'll be a different team, and the score will be flip-flopped because that's the type of team that this is. The Blue Jays should run over this team, and if you take a team lightly, we all know in baseball, any team can win on any given day.
Kevin Gausman picks up the loss today in 3 2/3, 10 hits, 6 earned runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Ryan Feltner on the other side. Gausman now 0-2. Feltner goes to 1-1 with the first starting pitcher win of the year for the Rockies. Feltner gave up runs early, 1 in the first for the Blue Jays, 1 in the second. Dalton Varsho led off the second with a home run. And with all of the other tough things that happened in the game for the Blue Jays, Varsho was a bright spot, getting that big swing to start the second inning, picking up another hit as well, and having a multi-hit day after struggling out of the gate.
Yeah, and he also made that incredible throw from left field that almost got the runner at home plate. But I think Dalton Varsho is seeing the ball just a little bit better. He's not quite there yet. He's still pulling off a lot of balls. But I think that if he can use the big part of the field, for the most part, you see Vlad, you see Bo starting to do that now. If he can try to use the big part of the field, he'll see a lot more success instead of just pulling off of those fastballs.
Blue Jays were up 2-1 after Varsho's homer, but then it was an onslaught. The Rockies ended up scoring 11 unanswered runs. Toronto would pick up 2 right near the end of the game. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa with his first home run as a Blue Jay. Davis Schneider had a bloop double and just created havoc on the bases, advanced on a wild pitch, scored on an error, but all in all, the Blue Jays would drop in this game 12-4. For the Rockies, 12 runs on 20 hits, 1 error, that throw down the line in the 9th inning that helped score Davis Schneider. 9 left on, although they came up with 7 hits with runners in scoring position. The Blue Jays, 4 runs, 11 hits, no errors. They left 8 on base. Mentioned Feltner with the win, Gausman with the loss. No save today in a game that took 2 hours and 53 minutes in front of 29,000 at Rogers Center. But the Blue Jays have a chance to come back tomorrow and even it up. Bowden Francis, the starter on the game notes, but we will wait and see for sure as they were a little bit non-committal pregame to what's going on tomorrow. We know Dakota Hudson will go on the other side for the Rockies. And, Chris, it's a new opportunity for the Blue Jays tomorrow to try and beat the Rockies and give themselves a chance to win this series and get back to 500 on Sunday.
I can't wait to see a different approach tomorrow. That's what I'm looking for.
Blue Jays and Rockies coming up tomorrow at 3:07 Eastern. Hope you can tune in for that Saturday matinee. I'll be alongside Chris once again. Appreciate you tuning in and sticking around tonight. We'll get you to Jays Talk right about now. For Andrew Adams and Tom Young, our technical directors, and Show Ali, our host and producer, and Chris LaRue, my partner, I'm Ben Schulman. Hope you have a good night and get your calls in because Jays Talk with Blair and Barker starts right.
Taking it on the chin from the Colorado Rockies. 11 extra base hits for the Rockies. That ties a franchise record for a road game. Last set in September 2nd, 2019 against the Dodgers. 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666. 0590. We asked the question on social media about 5.5 hours ago. No, not that long ago, but we asked the question on social media what your level of concern is with Kevin Gausman after what we've seen so far this year. Kevin Barker, I will turn it over to you. 6 balls hit with an exit velo of 100 miles an hour or more. Now, he did get some whiffs. He actually got a fair number of whiffs in a splitter. But clearly, that's not what we expect or what anybody expects from Kevin Gausman. What did you see?
Yeah, he threw 31 split fingers. He got 11 swing and misses. I mean, that's okay. That's not the greatest. Again, whenever you listen to him talk, he'll talk about he wants to go away with the split finger. He wants to go in with the split finger. He can do that when he's got the good feel of it. It's either a swing and miss or a ground ball. He had 1 ground ball out and five fly ball outs. It's just like, again, if you hadn't watched the game and I'd have told you that he threw 21 sliders, what would you have said to me?
He would have had absolutely no confidence in his 2 best pitches.
There you go. So, I think that's sort of what it is, right? Second inning there looked to me like he's a little bit too predictable. It was when you throw a slider, then a fastball. You throw a curveball, then a fastball. You throw something secondary, and then a fastball. Like, you do that enough, sooner or later they're going to make a little bit of adjustment. They're going to look fastball after something soft. He got in some of those at-bats, he got a little bit too predictable. In the third inning there, look, it was the grind. It was more, you're trying to add and subtract with your third best pitch instead of attacking. And, again, whenever your velocity is down about 2 ticks, right? The first start, it was 94.5. The last 2 starts, it's been about 92.7 miles an hour. That's a big difference when you got 2 pitches. And then that's when you start having to abuse the third pitch that you have. Right, I mean, if you look at 5 of the 10 hits he gave up were 2 strikes. It's just whenever he got to them, 2 strikes, which he got to 2 strikes a bunch, he just, for whatever reason, he didn't have a good feel for it, and he didn't have the extra gear. And we talk about this with every pitcher that walks to the mound with the Blue Jays that's a starter. When you have the consistent velocity this time of the year, with the velocity that you throw, that allows you to get away with some stinkers, right? You're a human being. You're going to throw a bad slider. You're going to throw a bad split finger. And if you got the extra tick, with the fastball as a hitter, you got to cheat, open up the front side, and then you can get away with some bad ones. I don't know if you're worried about this, but I think you have to, if you're Kevin, if you're Pete Walker, if you're John Snyder, like you got to go back to the drawing board a little bit and just wonder, is it about routines off the field, right? We all know that he didn't throw a lot up until this point. Right? Do you have to throw more between starts? Do you do an extra bullpen, or you long toss some more just to sort of rev up the arm a little bit more, make it a little bit stronger, so when you do hit it, you hit the ground running. And hopefully you see that in the next start. I'm sure you will see it a little bit better, which is exactly what you need. I mean, he didn't throw enough strike ones. He wasn't efficient with 2 strikes. The velocity wasn't there. Basically, he's only got one way to go, Jeff, and that's up.
Yeah, and, we were coming into this game, one of the talking points was the fact that his 2 previous starts, which were shaky, both came outdoors, one in colder weather. And, the last start was in colder weather, so you kind of wanted to see how he would pitch
inside the dome. I mean, his numbers have been much better indoors and in warm weather for whatever reason. But, yeah, I know Buck and Dan referred to this a couple of times. You get the sense that it wasn't a normal spring for Kevin Gausman, obviously. And you get the sense he may not be ready. He may not be ready to be the Kevin Gausman we expect Kevin Gausman to be. And you're absolutely right. This will be a challenge for Pete Walker. They'll have to figure it out.
I'm sure he's been around long enough to understand he ain't going to make excuses for himself. If he's pitching, everybody would assume he's raring and ready to go, and he can go out there and compete and show everybody his best stuff. But this is sort of the season, right? The third inning, he went out and threw 29 pitches, faced 7 batters, gave up 3 runs. On the offensive side, the Blue Jays went to the plate 3 up, 3 down, saw 12 pitches. That was the meat of the order, 3, 4, 5. Yep. That's sort of the way their season's been, right? It's when the pitcher's really bad, you expect the battle for the lineup the very next inning to be a little bit stiffer, right? You go up there, you stick your nose in there, you may take some pitches. I mean, then you start seeing Bo throwing helmets and getting all ticked off because he's not hitting balls or swinging at stuff he shouldn't be swinging at. So, yeah, it's turning into some things here where they're going to have to control a little bit and figure things out in a hurry.
And as we have talked about, Alejandro Kirk keeps coming up in big situations. First inning, 2 on, strikes out to end the inning. 5th inning comes up 2 on, flies out to right field. And now granted that ball was well hit, and you could tell people here were kind of hoping. They were praying to get the ball over the right field fence. It didn't turn out that way. Danny Jansen cannot get here soon enough.
Kirky 6 for 45. I mean,
and they're all singles. He doesn't have an extra base hit.
It's hard when he's playing every day behind the plate, and you expect what you expect from him offensively. It's a lot to ask.
Okay, we're going to move on to the callers in a minute, but Dalton Varsho hit a home run today, Kevin Barker, and another line drive infield hit.
Yeah, look, I talked about this today. It was about separation. When you got better separation between the front foot and the hands, it gives you a better chance to have the bat speed, the balance, and the torque that you want in your midsection. And, when sort of everything's connected and there's not that big of a pause between the stride separation that he does. The stride separation, get the foot down early and sort of try and throw your hands with good, bat awareness towards the baseball, and it always doesn't work out for him. But he looked like he's more confident, like he wasn't thinking about that. It was just sort of, dare I say, Jeff, see ball, hit ball. Occasionally some guys need to try and do that, and it looked like he was a little better at that tonight.
We do have a little bit of news, by the way, as I think you have been talking about for a while. Blue Jays manager John Schneider just letting the media know that Yariel Rodriguez will start tomorrow. Bowden Francis will be available in the bullpen. So, of course, Yariel Rodriguez joining the team today, but he will be officially activated tomorrow. He's on the taxi squad tonight, and now we await the imminent return, it appears, of Jordan Romano and Eric Swanson, and as we mentioned, Danny Jansen. The Buffalo Bisons, AAA Buffalo Bisons, were rained or winded out, however you want to call it today. So both of those, or all 3 of those players will go down this weekend, get their work in, and knock on wood, hopefully we'll see all 3 of them in time for Monday when the Yankees come into town. 416-870-0590, star 591, 888-666-0590. Let's go all the way to the West Coast. Matt in Vancouver, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Hey, fellas. Thanks for having me on. I thought I'd make a couple of comments, one on Kevin Gausman and another one on the hitting. I'm curious if Kevin Gausman is experiencing a bit of dead arm, only because 93, I know, is not the hardest that he throws, and it's not the slowest that I've seen his fastball either. But, it's kind of middle because he should be like 95, 96, I feel. But I remember a past interview, I think about last season, where you had former Major League pitcher Jeremy Affeldt on, where he talked about the off season is not enough time, basically, and I'm paraphrasing it, but the off season is not enough time for pitchers who get their adrenaline up and get themselves charged up kind of game after game. And, when that season ends and, you have your whatever months off it is, depending on how long your season went, it's just not enough time. And if that's the case, if they kind of gave him another couple of months, I have no idea whether that would fix him a little bit more. Maybe he could throw a little harder after that. But I'm just curious, and I have maybe not, but that was just what I questioned. And my other one question about this team is it just me, or is it easier for the Blue Jays to hit home runs with nobody on base? Because the past, even just last season, it just seemed like they'll hit home runs, but it just seems like there's just not a lot of runners on base. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just their heart rate slows down a little bit more in the situation. I'm just curious if it's just me, or do you see it too?
Yeah, I'll pass that over to Kevin. Thanks for the call. I mean, they didn't hit enough home runs last year to begin with, so, I mean...
Yeah, they're one of the worst teams. They're one of the worst teams in baseball at hit with runners in scoring position when it comes to backspin and homers, right? Maybe they're just not a good home run hitting team. Maybe that's what
I think we have to say they aren't. I mean, Don Mattingly's been basically telling you that for a year. Maybe we got to listen to him.
Yeah, how do you win without hitting homers in 2024, Jeff?
It'd be interesting. We'll find out.
Can you do that in the American? So you're telling me in the American League East you think they have a chance without hitting homers?
I'm saying we'll find out. I did not say that they have a chance. I'm saying we'll find out. But I think it's pretty clear that this is not a home run hitting team. It's just not. Who in this team guarantees you 30 bombs?
Nobody.
Rest my case.
Nary a soul.
Rest my case.
Yeah.
As far as Kevin Gausman goes, now, listen, Kevin Gausman is kind of they have enough. First of all, he's earned it, but they also have enough faith in him that they kind of let him call the ball in the off season and everything. And you made a point in the off season that we seem to have, not we, but people maybe seem to have missed. He ain't young. He's pitched a ton of innings. And he's a two-pitch guy, basically. And I'm not saying that he's done or washed up or anything like that. Far from it. I don't think he is. I mean, I was one of the people, and there were a lot of people out there who had him as one of their Cy Young favorites, and I'm certainly not about to change my opinion based on what I've seen so far. But he's getting up there. He is getting up there. And he has thrown... Kevin, you said this. The guy's throwing two pitches for a couple of years right now.
Yeah, for the most part, I think, too, people that have dead arm, I don't think could throw as hard as he was throwing tonight.
No.
Consistently, he wasn't throwing as hard as I think he'd want to throw.
If he had dead arm, Pete Walker and John Schneider aren't sending him out there.
I don't know about that. I mean, again, I think it gets back to that. He's been around long enough to understand what his body's feeling like, and if he tells them that his body's fine, they're going to run him out there because his name's Kevin Gausman. That's
what I'm saying. But
for whatever reason, right, mechanically or finish or rotation it could be numerous things this early in the season. A lot of these guys don't have the best of starts all the time, and maybe this is just one of those things where it just doesn't feel right for him for whatever reason. Maybe it was he didn't throw enough in spring training. Maybe it's it's just the weather. That one game sort of threw him off. But there is a little bit of confidence when it comes to, he did get 11 swing and misses on the split finger. I mean, that's pretty decent. Out of 31 he threw. The velocity occasionally was there where he wanted it to. He just wasn't maintaining it through his entire start. And, I think that's sort of where you maybe go back to the drawing board. Tim Mays is going through the same thing. And I heard him say, he needs to work a little bit harder in the weight room, maybe strengthen his legs a little bit more, doing a little bit more work on your core. That's what it's all about. Adjustments between the times that you're not doing well. That's up to the player, and the players know themselves better than anybody does. And I'm sure that they are doing everything possible to make the adjustment they need to make them the best pitcher they could possibly be and help this team. Because it sure does, Jeff. I don't know about you, but boy, it sure does have that feel of it's a run prevention team again. And it's what you're getting from the offense is gravy.
Absolutely. 416-870-0590, star 591 888 The Colorado Rockies have beaten the Blue Jays 12-4 in the first game of this 3-game series. Heard some boos tonight. For Vladdy and Alejandro Kirk, mostly. And I mean the fans. We talked about this last year. This team can be a hard watch at times. And I think it's understandable fans are going to react that way. It won't be the last time this year.
Yeah, I think fans are very smart. They see the at bats like in the second inning when Kiermaier hits the 3-2 fastball down the left field line for a double, and then Springer comes up and swings at an 0-0 sinker down. That's the pitcher's pitch you shouldn't be swinging at. Vladdy comes up and swings at an 0-0 slider away. So instead of them having a quality at bat being a tough out, they get 2 outs on 2 pitches and sort of kills the rally. John and everybody that's around this team that matters, that's making decisions, says the same exact thing to us and everybody else that wants to listen, is that the middle of this lineup, 1 through 4, will have to take this team where they ultimately need to be. And when you see at bats like that in the second inning, sometimes you earn the booze, Jeff.
Sam in Hamilton, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Hey, guys. First of all, I mean, just to lose this game against a Colorado team that, and I know the history, we were 9-0 at home, but it just felt like halfway through the game, the team just quit. I mean, one of the Rockies pitchers had like 11 pitches through 2 innings of relief, and it's just extremely frustrating that again and again and again, it just feels like 2023 2.0. And Jeff, I've been calling into your shows forever. I don't know why the Blue Jays and Maple Leafs have not learned from the Raptors. Why is this team so afraid of a franchise-altering trade? I'm not saying trade Bo, or maybe you do have to trade Bo or Vlad. I mean, it just feels like 2023 again, and I'm at the point where, like, it's insanity, the fact that they ran this back again. And
What's the franchise?
I would fire Ross Atkins tonight.
Let me ask you this, because I'll ask you this question. What's a franchise-altering trade for this team? Are you sure that Vladdy's as attractive as we think he is?
Well, maybe trade Bo. Like that's my biggest fear. Like if you look at Bo Bichette, I'm afraid Bo Bichette's going to request a trade at the deadline if this team isn't good. Because the way
he won't request a trade at the deadline. It doesn't work that way in baseball. He can. I suppose he can request a trade if he wants, but it doesn't work that way in baseball. You know what? He's a year away from free agency. He's going to play his cards properly. He's not going to do that. And I mean, this isn't the NBA. You can't make a trade and bring in one guy that takes you to a championship. I mean, if that was the case, the Angels would have multiple World Series rings now. I mean, you just can't. You just can't. Never mind that we can talk about the Raptors and how lucky they were. I mean, Golden State had a ton of players hurt in the final. If I'm not mistaken, Masai Ujiri wanted to trade Kyle Lowry to the Knicks, and Knicks ownership turned it down. They had a lot go their way. Yes, they made a franchise-altering deal. They had a lot go their way, but this isn't the NBA. You can't bring in one guy that's going to change things. I mean, you just can't.
Yeah, I would, but it's just so frustrating. Again, like this is a game where, like, you think, okay, the Rockies are 3-10. We're supposed to come in. We're supposed to be this playoff caliber team, and we just lay an egg, and it's just so frustrating.
Oh, listen, Sam. I appreciate the call, Kevin. I can't disagree with Sam. It is. I've said this. This is a frustrating team to watch last year. It could be a frustrating team to watch this year. Run prevention's dull. I mean, I'm sorry. It's dull.
Yeah, and it's a lot to ask. It's a lot to ask an older pitching staff to give, a quality start basically every time they go out there. It's a lot to ask. Like, sooner or later, you got to bludgeon people. Like, you got to do sort of what the Rockies did to the Jays tonight occasionally, right? A week or two at the time during the season, just to give a rotation and a pitching staff a break that where every single time they go out there, it's not live or die by, every little inch that they miss by is going to cost them in a game. So, yeah, I mean, everybody's been watching this team said the same exact thing. I mean, they needed another bat. And they didn't get it. And you could sort of see this coming, I think.
12-4, the Colorado Rockies have beaten the Toronto Blue Jays in the first game of a 3-game series at the Rogers Center. Let's get one more call in, and then we'll take a break. Frank and Kleinberg, you want to weigh in on the idea of a franchise-altering trade?
Yes, 100%. We made it last year. We traded Gurriel and Moreno for Barshall. It's a disaster. We moved Teoscar. We had a good hitting team. A little bit of erratic fielding. They destroyed the team. They killed the team. We got Vladdy and Bo, a couple old players, and then a bunch of bench players. That's all we have. Decent pitching staff. That's it. If they couldn't see what was going to happen this year, I agree with that caller. Ross Atkins should be fired tomorrow. John Schneider fired tomorrow. That's it. Move it out. Move on. You got to change this team. It's terrible. They are going to finish last. That's the bottom line.
Well, I mean, I don't know about finishing last, but look, that trade. I can't say it. Yeah, it was not a good trade. But as we have said, as I've said, Kevin may feel a little differently. I'm sure he does. At the time, I understood why the trade was made. I'm not going to walk back saying that I understand why the trade was made. They weren't going to sign Lourdes Gurriel Jr. He wasn't going to stick around. Gabriel Moreno, again, people need to remember this. He was not going to be on the team out of spring training. The catchers were going to be Alejandro Kirk and Danny Jansen, unless a trade materialized for Alejandro Kirk. So you have to look at it a little bit that way. Now, having said that, we're sitting here. The Diamondbacks have been to the World Series. Gabriel Moreno was terrific in the World Series, both defensively and offensively. And Dalton Varsho, I'm not saying he's fighting for his job, but he's fighting to be an everyday player right now. On balance, that's not a good trade. I still think, looking back, getting rid of Teoscar was the thing you probably didn't have to do. Right, Kevin? That may have been I wouldn't say an overreach. That may have been one move too many. But at the same time, as I've said, I think that one of the problems with the way last offseason was handled is I think the Jays had another deal that didn't come through. They thought they had another hitter here. And I thought that they believed that they could get rid of Teoscar and that somebody would come in here and be able to pick up the slack.
A lot of home runs don't grow on trees, and dudes that can hit don't grow on trees.
Yep.
Lourdes can hit, and Teoscar can hit a bunch of home runs. I mean, you stick those two dudes in the middle of your order. Forget about Gabby Moreno, what he would bring right now. I mean, just think if he was here while Danny Jansen was injured.
Yeah, but you can't.
Like the youth and that thing. Yeah, sure you can. I mean, if fans want to go down that way, they can go down that way. Absolutely they can. Right? The team and the lineup would look totally different with two of those three guys consistently in the order.
I think the biggest issue is that this organization completely misread Alejandro Kirk. They fell in love with him. I think they looked at Alejandro Kirk. We know all the great, the defensive numbers and all this stuff, and we know the year he had offensively. I mean, he was a Silver Slugger. He had a great year offensively. But I think the organization – one of the things the New York Yankees did so well when they were winning is they made the correct read in their players. They knew who to get rid of. They knew who to keep. You got to do that. And clearly this organization got rid of the wrong catcher.
Yeah, Jeff, to Frank's point, but going into the offseason, the organization, the team had an issue. In the season so far, they have the same issue because they didn't do anything to fix it. I think that's why fans sort of are rolling their eyes, throwing their hands in the air, and saying it's like Groundhog Day every time the team shows up on an everyday basis. You can understand that. Like it's.
Oh, I completely understand.
You can understand that.
You're not going to undo a trade you did. You're not going to undo a trade you did 2 years ago.
I don't even think it's about the trade. It's about adding more pieces. We said
That's
that.
fair.
Like we continue to say the Turner's a great ad. Absolutely, he can hit, but you need another Turner. Like you needed two of those.
Yeah,
and you didn't do that, and you just start putting all the emphasis on something that you've seen go the same way 2 years in a row. A guy that plays first base, and then you're expecting a catcher that you would think probably because of the way the other catcher gets hurt a lot is going to have to play a ton, does the things he doesn't do when he's playing a lot. So, yeah, some of the things were right in front of these guys, and it just seems like either they glossed over them or they just couldn't go out and fix them, whichever one. It hadn't been fixed, and now the lineup looks like it looks on an everyday basis.
416-870-0590, star 591, 888-666-0590. The Toronto Blue Jays have lost the first game of this 3-game series to the Colorado Rockies badly, 12-4. The Rockies, 20 hits. The Rockies, 11 extra base hits on the road, tying a franchise record. Not a good night for Kevin Gausman. The less said about Paolo Espino and Mitch White, the better, although, again, that was garbage time. We're going to take a break and come back with more of your calls. 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-660-590. Your thoughts on Kevin Gausman, your concerns on Kevin Gausman. We've had a couple of callers call up and talk about trades that weren't made and talk about maybe it's time to, we had one caller, maybe it's time to make a franchise-altering deal. Do you buy that? I think it's a little too early to talk about that. But I understand where you're coming from. It's Blue Jays Talk on Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
It's sports streaming season. This spring, get set for nonstop action on Sportsnet Plus.
Unbelievable.
Every electrifying game of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Did you see that?
All the knockout moments in UFC. Awe-inspiring action from the NBA playoffs. Plus, the Toronto Blue Jays are back in full swing. Catch all the can't-miss moments that matter most to you. Because when it happens in sports, it happens on Sportsnet Plus. Subscribe at sportsnetplus.ca.
Everyone dreams of owning their own personal slice of heaven. Now you can, thanks to Fixed Rate Pizza by Pizza Pizza. Until the end of 2024, lock into an extra-large 4-topping pizza at a fixed price of $17.99. No matter how bad food prices get this year, your pizza price stays. So why not say no to surge pricing and yes to Fixed Rate Pizza? Order now from Pizza Pizza.
Order pizzapizza.ca.
The Blue Jays are inviting you to work from Dome. Put it in your calendar. 307 weekday starts this season. You can work from Dome with friends or coworkers at Rogers Center. It's a game changer. Make the ballpark your office for the afternoon. Work from Dome, 307 weekday starts. Let's touch base. Check out ticket options on bluejays.com/workfromdome.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Center. Visit timbermart.ca.
I give you the world, but there's other planets too. Hola, soy Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Está escuchando a Toronto Blue Jays Baseball.
They're most in a single game since 22 on August 9th, 2022 against the St. Louis Cardinals. 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-660-590. It is Blue Jays Talk. Jeff Blair and Kevin Barker are with you for a few more minutes. Justin and Barry, you are on Blue Jays Talk.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I think every caller is thinking the same thing tonight, that this team's not good enough and that pieces need to move. So I guess I'm going to go like every other caller and say about Guerrero that he's not good and that I do think he should be moved. He just can't hit the ball. He's swinging outside the zone too much. Jeff, it was one of you had said that you're not sure if other teams think Guerrero's as good as obviously Ross and Mark think they are. Any chance, I'm just going to throw it out here, that the Rockies would be interested in Guerrero? Like I'm thinking of, like I watched or I listened tonight, McMahon goes 4 for 6. Something like that where...
Well, you can't make a deal based on what one dude did tonight.
Yeah, I know.
Because then you might be trading for Chris Bryant, who actually looked like a major league player for tonight.
Yeah, I'm just throwing it out there.
Thanks for the call. I mean, look, Vladdy's got another year left before he's a free agent. I've been writing this and I've been saying it, and I think reality may be slapping people in the face now. At some point you got to have a discussion if he's not going to re-sign here about what you're going to do. Yeah. I mean, I think you do. I don't think you let him walk as a free agent and not get anything in return. That's just me. But
maybe they know already.
But I'm not privy to. All I know is he hasn't signed. He's gone year to year since he's been here. That's all I know. That says something to me. That either says something to me about him, or it says something to me about how the organization views him. Would I like Ryan McMahon and this team in a freaking heartbeat? But trading Vladdy is going to be. It's going to be. There are going to be some heads exploding around here if that happens, and I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah, I don't agree either with he's not good. He's just maybe not great. I think there's a big difference. I think he's good. I mean, his numbers will say he's good. I just don't know if he's great. Like, he was great his first year. He hasn't been great since. That's the question is, can he take it to another level and be great? And have a couple of years in a row where he can, say, jump on my back, I'm going to carry us to where we ultimately want to go. We just haven't seen that the last couple of years. But he's been good. I mean, 25 and 95 don't grow on trees. Yeah. So I don't think you can say that. It's just the great part.
I'm going to say this, though. You know what? If you look around Major League Baseball, a lot of teams have young players that they could truthfully make a case for being better than Vladdy. Go around every team in baseball, and most of them have a young player, and they could say to you, "This guy's better than Vladdy."
I'm not arguing that. I'm not saying that.
But I'm saying that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't know if people value him as much as we think that they do. They may not.
Yeah, I'm sure people are thinking about, is he a top 50 player in baseball? And you'd really have to think about it right now.
Well, you would.
I think that's where people are at, right?
You would.
It's not a sure thing. So I get your point.
Kevin Gausman had some comments after the game about his outing. Let's hear from Mr. Gausman before we wrap it up for tonight.
I think my first 4 or 5 hits I gave up were on my fastball, so I think I kind of got away from that. But, obviously nothing good was, nothing good happened today. And, just a lot of pitches, a lot of hits, a lot of doubles, a lot of runs, obviously, and not many positives. Stuff-wise, I feel really good. I threw my slider more because it was really good tonight, but the results are what they are.
That is Kevin Gausman. Removing at least the idea that there may be something physical with him. But it will be, Kevin, it'll be interesting to talk to Pete Walker at some point in the next couple of days and see what the plans are. Will there be an adjustment in how Kevin Gausman prepares between starts? And it may just have to be something temporary. It may not be that he has to make a drastic adjustment. But, you can't have a repeat of what you saw tonight.
Yeah, the really good players always adjust. When things ain't going right, they're gonna adjust and overcome things. Like, it's just that's how they've been in the big leagues forever and make tons of money and be really good at something. Is because sometimes just things aren't working and you got to make changes. And the dudes that make the changes quicker and buy into that are the dudes that are really good consistently most of the time. And Kevin's one of those guys. Kevin gets it. Like, you just listen to him talk there.
Yeah, he gets it.
He don't come on there and go, this is working and I got, some bad luck in it. No, that's just bad. Things didn't work. A slider was good. Like the slider. I'll throw that more often next time. But I kind of like the way he talks anyway.
12-4, the Blue Jays lose the first game of this 3-game series against the Colorado Rockies. But as we always say, the good news, we think the good news, is that you get to do it again tomorrow and Sunday. Thank you for listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Metcalfe and Winchester, Ontario. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com. They are Canada's #1 rust protection.
This has been Major League Baseball play-by-play on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Calling this game.